Moondust. 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 Moondust is still a problem. Moondust. 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 Moondust.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean Heffernan. Thank you very much for the tip there. Very, very nice, Sean. Thank you very much.
Moondust. Moondust. Moondust is still a problem. Moondust. Moondust.
Thank you. Move on there. Once you've seen him, move on. You've had enough time. You've had enough time. Keep the line going, lads. This is not a stop and fucking have a bit of crack scenario. Just pay your respects and move onwards. You've had enough time now. I know. I'm not really there, guys. It was just a hilarious joke, but maybe not a great joke to make. Maybe not the right time. Very, very inappropriate. Possibly. But as we can see, there is a live stream of what seems to be none other than Awake Online. And wouldn't that be amazing if that was the way for everybody? We all had thousands of people coming to say goodbye at your wake. Me personally, I'm not really a wake kind of guy. I mean, I'm awake now. I'm awake now, but I don't think I could really be too happy with the fact that my dead body was in a house or a place and people were coming and looking at my dead body, sometimes possibly even touching it, saying goodbye, maybe posing for photographs. Not my cup of tea. I don't know about you. Maybe you're old school like that, but not for me. It's just a bit too much. Thank you very much there, John, for the tip, and Pat the bag as well. I hope you're getting on well. I have the Chrons tracker 5,000. I was going to say they're open, as well as Sam Lee's, or Dara Darmody's, I beg your pardon. This is Sam Lee's Chrons tracker here. Dara's competing, but not rival. They're not competing. They're both great situations. I don't know what he called his particular Computer Chronicles app. It's a web app. Viper Chronicles, he's called it. Still have to watch the end of Computer Graphics from 1985, which I think will be the first one to go in and go on to it. Minister? Will you be re-wetting the tips, Minister? Thank you very much for that. Very, very kind of you there. Joey the Lips. I hope you're getting on well. I was going to go into Resident Evil. There's still some of that to do, and then go Chrons, but I do get conflicted as to, like, what's the best way to approach the evening. Sometimes I'm just in a stew kind of mood. It's all about stew. Maybe it's been a bit of a strange day or whatever, and you just need a real nice hit of the Stew Man group to be able to bring you back onto a nice even keel, and that's the way it is. I'm not too sure about going into it off the back of Resi. Definitely not Warzone. That really ended in acrimony there on Saturday night. I'm ashamed of that one and how that went down, to be honest. I didn't handle myself with the decorum, with the professionalism, with the joie de vivre, which has become expected of myself on the streams. It has to be said, usually an uplifting, good crack, have a bit of a laugh scenario, but it's turned into a gremlin-based golem, nasty gremlin, goblin scenario. And you know, some people obviously have a problem with that. I can see where you're coming from. I understand that as well. But I mean, it just is so good. It's so nice. It feels great to get that hit, that first hit of the day. And then you just travel on that buzz for a while and keep topping yourself up with micro hits of dopamine induced violence. It's all fantasy violence. So we don't have to worry about it. We don't really even have to read too much into it either.
Nintendo Game Boy.
Nintendo Game Boy. Thank you very much there. I'm just going to hide behind Stu. It's a beautiful situation like that when I can just hide behind the man himself and then come back out again whenever I want. And Christian Irwin, thank you very much. Nice to see the Grim Jeeper himself back. Although there will be none of that Jeep business tonight. Although look, I'm not going to promise that there won't be. But I'm setting out the stalls, and I can't deal with that. Not tonight. It's just all about the Stew Man group. Thank you very much there, Captain Sack and Jackie Cracky. Great to see you and the Stew. You say thank you very much indeed about that. Serious highs, though. Indeed, Stillmatic. Serious highs. Still thinking about it. Still dreaming about it. And I will be back on it. I haven't kicked it for good. You know, this isn't like a 12-step situation. I'm on the first step of saying, I'll be back tomorrow. Or on it again maybe in a few days. Or maybe even tonight. Look, I don't want to I'm not Johnny Promises. Tonight, let's just enter the Stewniverse and just enjoy that for what it is at the moment in time. I think I had... the other thing was the video as well. I didn't have the video, and then I wanted to have the music to it as well. It's just the Pope.
Twisted.
The Pope got me sidetracked there. Or the former Pope, the Pope formerly known as Pope, is now known as Prince. And Anonymous, thank you very much there for the tip. SMORC, Smork. Thank you very much there, and I hope you're getting on well. Don't know what that Smork means.
Lovely slice of ham.
Lovely slice of ham. Thank you very much there indeed for that Chaffee for life. It's great to see a little bit of Chaffee regardation out there. Let me just try and find the crack track that goes to the back of this. It is called
Nintendo Game
Theme
Boy.
Tune.
We've got a free computer to give away.
Full theme in full.
33 seconds and counting, ladies and gentlemen. 33 seconds and counting.
Beautiful stuff. Sa! Sa! Ra! Ba! Ka! Ba! Whoa! Nearly came off the fucking chair. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba We have... When did we have Fat 32 guy appear on screen already? Might have missed him there. It's been a long time since I put this little video on. But it always got me charged up and ready to go. The salads were always ready to go when we seen this guy, and it's the most replayed as well. Sassman Do. We've talked about his stylings numerous times before, but that green chino slacks and this shirt here combination really added an element of surprise to the proceedings. You weren't expecting to have that sort of attitude emanating from a man in that garb, but indeed he did have it. Love to see where he is now and what he's doing. Love to interview this man. The call out has been made quite a few years ago. I remember saying, if you see this, please let us know who you are. He reminds me of someone like maybe the critic from Simpsons, Plum Job. Thank you very much there for the tip. And Flembag 9mm Jill Conrad, thank you very much as well. I heard you were in line to be the next Pope, moving up from simply being the Lord of Tea and Toast. Any comment on that at all would be helpful at some stage. Francis, thank you very much for asking there. It's always nice to be asked about that.
I, the Lord of Tea and Toast.
I have made my dinner roast. Who on earth wants some of that? I'm here to serve.
I, the Lord of Tea and Toast.
I like my tea. I don't like to... I make great tea. I don't like to boast. Real creamery butter in the foil. Can't say fairer than that. I need to develop that on maybe, and maybe not though. Scumbellina, thank you very much there for the tip. Would Tommy be thinking about throwing his Cold Chan hat into the ring to become Pope? Interesting you should ask, and interesting we should ask the uncle right now. It's the first mention of him tonight. Are you there? Are you there, Lord? It is I, Lord. I know you're waiting in the rafters. Wrong button. Tom?
Hello, what's your story?
Ah, great to have you, man. Thanks very much for joining us. Lovely, lovely stuff. The crowd go wild there. What's the story, Tom?
How are you getting on? What's your story? I'm grand, yeah, just... I was weeping there for a few hours whilst watching the live stream of Pope Francis as he lies in wait for many, many respecters who have come to pay their utmost holy respects.
And you're out there?
I am out there. I have drove all the way over, drove a special bus. It was a special bus operation that I drove from Knock.
From Knock to Rome. Crazy bit of business. And how did that go?
It was a long, drawn-out affair. We had to get the bus onto the back of an Antonov, one of the largest aircraft ever made, and it's up there with the Beluga.
And you wouldn't just take the ferry over from, say, Dublin or Dunleary over to Wales or England, or even over to France from Rosslare or wherever that other ferry goes. You wouldn't have just done that.
Why not? Why not take... When you have the contacts I have, why not just get the bus on the Antonov and then jack Antonov your way all the way over to Rome, and then you get out of Rome and just drive to the Vatican there.
Wow, that's Premiership bussing.
It's just the way things are at the moment. That's a special bus operation. You don't get that everywhere else, you know. I mean, some people they'd be doing the whole drive across Europe. Not me. Not now. Not with the situation. The contacts I've made as well over the years, they've been good to me.
Great stuff. It sounds fucking fantastic, and fair play to you for doing that as well. Irish Gamer Girl, thank you very much for the tip. If it isn't Pope Saint Francisco himself, thanks very much. And what about your Cold Chan hat? Scumbellina just asking there if you're going to throw that into the ring to become Pope.
Well, I did mention it. I'm just out the Vatican myself now, and some of the clothes people are wearing are disgusting. Turning up to the Buckins wake like this, and I think there's too much revealing going on. A lot of their bodies shown, and I think people need to remember where you are, and you need to have a bit of respect as well, not only for the dead, but for the reverential aspect of the utmost Holy Spirit himself. The Holy Ghost!
Well, it sounds like you're definitely in the leagues of showing utmost respect, and fair play to you as well. Doesn't answer the question, though. Your hat, ring, Pope next, in it? Possibly.
I'm not going to reveal anything at the moment, but I did, when I was there earlier on, I did throw my cap into the ring. It wasn't a ring, it was, where the Pope was lying in wait there, but I thought I'd leave that. Thanks for the slice of ham there, Tupo, and they said not to do that. I thought it was a nice gesture to put my cap in there on top of him and maybe get a photograph, but they said not to do that,
Thank you very much for the tip, Dara, there and Tupo. After you just saying there were people who were revealing body parts and stuff, giving out about the way they were representing themselves in the Vatican, you threw your fucking baseball cap in on top of the Pope and got a picture with your smartphone.
I didn't realise that was not what you were meant to do. I thought this was what it was all about.
Yeah, I thought you would have had better knowledge than that, Tom, to be honest. That's something somebody without much experience would do that. Black Tom, thank you very much.
I was very respectful when I did it. I didn't make a big song or dance about it, and it was only when people started to point at me, but I wasn't taking the photograph. I'd given the phone to somebody else to take the photo of me.
Oh, that makes it all better. Pope Francis Higgins, thank you very much there for the tip, and Black Tom as well. Tupo says, does this mean Argentina won't win the next World Cup? As His Argentinian Holiness no longer battles with God for their success? That is to say that you're thinking of God as the Christian God, the God of Christ, whereas the World Cup, as we all know, was won by the footballing God, Lionel Messi. And as we remember, it was a shame that they had to go and put that big kind of Lord of Death black cowl on him. Sort of I don't know what you call that. I mean, people were saying it was an Arabian customary practice, but I can't remember any World Cup winner being forced to wear some daft shite at the end whilst, holding the trophy aloft. But I suppose the goalkeeper managed to put paid to any sort of reverence by pretending that the trophy he had won was a large comedy phallus, and then making some sort of sex gesture, what can only be described as a sex gesture, and then in front of the crowd, that would have sent people wild, Tom.
It did. I remember there was a lot of consternation about that. Martinez, I think it was, but I think he'd earned the right to do that because he'd performed so well in the match himself. Jack, thank you very much for the tip. Very, very kind of you. What time do you call this to start a stream, you dirt? Good to see you back. Well, it's not my fault. That's the nephew, you see.
That's me, you see. I mean, look, the option is what to not have a stream or just to have a stream. That's the way I don't look at it as time anymore, because I need no constraint if to do stuff. I mean, and then thinking about times and whether people are going to be awake or people care. That can be another one, you see. That can be another one. Lots of times when there's been a chance to do it, but then you think, no, let's not. And as we say, look, we're still here, probably 10, 20 minutes after the stream has fucking started, talking, not even doing any streaming, but enjoying the sights and sound of a video which we've seen a million times before. Associated Press with the gold, by the way. And I wonder has anybody picked up on this crazy little guy here as well. Have a look. Thank you very much, Jack, for the tip there. Very, very kind of. I just love the guy that says Fat32. Thank you very much, Dougie, there for the tip. Dougie Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks very much, Doug. Has Tommy seen that new film Conclave with Ralph Fiennes? Might be a good research for what he's up to in Rome. I've seen a bit of it, all right, but I didn't watch it all because I started to get bored. What was the story with you, France? Did you see it?
Interestingly enough, the exact same experience, Tom. I started to watch it but got bored. And apparently I've heard that it's a great film, but the ending is not great. I'm happy to go with that. I think it was just to get a fucking feeling, you know. I just skipped through and then saw some scenes, and that's what it all is all about. Cinema. It's about scenes and images and setups. You know, you might not really have to even involve yourself too much in the fucking story. You just see a priest on a vape using a mobile phone, and then, you know, that puts paid to all this sort of fucking spiritual, wow, these guys are closer to God than any of us sort of vibe. And then you realize that they're actually all just on their phones scrolling and smoking fags. And it's just the same. They're just the same. But as we can see here, it's a crazy bit of business in the Vatican. A lot of money going on in there. Gold-plated ceilings. Very high line of sight. Very high line of sight indeed. What was it like in there, Tom? Can you describe it?
Yep, it was very, very quiet. A lot of shuffling. As you can see there, people are dressing a little bit more formally, but there were a few people who were, you know, they weren't dressed appropriately as well. I seen a few soccer jerseys, and then a fellow wearing a tank top with his arm showing, and then a lady wearing a skirt that actually went up to the shins. And I was shocked and appalled at that. I thought it was neither the place nor the time for it. But, and there's some scouts there. And there's a woman there, and she's sad. And still doing a bit of praying as well. A lot of people doing praying all the way around. But I forgot to do a pray. And I had the hands in the pockets. I was shuffling around. And there's a fella there he looks like he's off to a late night swanky affair. A few of them actually, lads in tuxedos.
Few tuxedo boys. I think they're part of the inner circle, the kind of the closest thing to the Pope that you can get, and they will allow some people access, close-up access. Did you get that?
Yep, I did. Through the contacts I had made, had managed to secure myself an up-close and personal situation, and that's where the problem started, you see, because I thought I had been given access. Then when I posed for the oh, look at the lads there with the spears. You wouldn't want to cross them, because they would go through you for a shortcut. Do you pay more to see the VIP morning area? What? There was no payment made there, Conrad. There was no payment made. It was simply a gesture for all the work I'd done through the years as well. Yeah, did a lot of work there in Italy. Bit of stay behind stuff, a few NATO operations back in the day as well, bit of bus work. But I don't really want to talk about that now. Any sandwiches? I brought a packed lunch with me. And then I was told you weren't allowed to bring bags into it, so I had to squish the sandwich into the pocket, and a bit of it leaked.
Oh, what was that?
It was fish, so it didn't smell great either, you know. But I was very impressed with the way what they'd done here. You see the lads in the pews there at the back. I was able to sit down there and have a few moments, and it was just there. I sat in the second to back row there, and you know, can you see that seat there?
I can.
That's where I was, and there was a lad in front of me. I managed to eat the sandwich then, but I still had bits of fish on my fingers, and I had no wet wipe, so I had to, unfortunately, just use spit and my shirt, and I don't think anybody noticed really. At the end of the day, I managed to get out of there, and it was grand.
Lovely, lovely stuff. It's great to see, and it's great to see the Vatican looking well as well. It's interesting, isn't it, to think who is going to be this next Pope? Who could it be? Like, you know, is it going to be another renegade? Like, is it going to be another Pope who just comes out of the fucking side hatch, out of nowhere, and shakes shit up? Is it gonna be a woman Pope? Is it gonna be a man Pope? Will it be where would they be from in the world? Will they be from China? Will they be from America? Will they be from Europe? Will they be from
Lovely slice of
Africa?
ham.
Bodega Jones, thank you very much. Play a bit of Papa Roach for the Papa. Thank you very much there. And Other Jeff, thank you very much. Will there be any sandwiches or a bowl of oxtail soup served at the funeral tomorrow, Tommy?
Well, I've heard there's going to be a great spread on. A lot of it obviously is safe for the VIPs, but I even seen today outside the church, outside in the surrounding areas, there's a lot of good work going on by Holy Joes of the highest order who are just taking it upon themselves to head out with sandwiches and really revitalise the crowd with light bites and tasty treats. But if you want the real stuff, then I'm afraid you need to have kissed the Pope's ring at least once or have some kind of inn. And right now, yeah, not everybody has that level of access. And this fella down here is great with the waves. Wavy Davy, we call him. His job is to stand there and to wave on participatory well-wishers and mourners of the day and move them fast. And the fellas in the tuxedo, he does a point occasionally. The fellas in the tuxes, they're party boys. They're going to get the party started later on as well, even though you might think that's not the type of place this is. You better believe there's going to be a bit of partying, because apparently that's what the man wanted himself. He was behind closed doors, behind the scenes. He was a sesh animal, and he just didn't let that out. That wasn't part of his remit or his job as Pope to show that side of him. But he was mad for it. Absolutely mad for it.
Incredible to have this level of insider information coming from inside the Vatican. You're still there, are you, Tom?
Oh, I am. I'm in the belfry.
Are you allowed up there? And how do they know about this?
Oh, they don't know. I found a moment where I could slip behind a pillar and then scale up to the top there as well. So I'm up now at the top of the fucking thing like old Quasimodo. Give it on the phone to you here. Great reception though up here.
Well, you'd want to be at the top of the fucking belfry. And how are you going to get down?
I'll find a way down. We don't need to worry about that yet. Thanks very much there, Lisa. That's Tommy for Pope. I'd follow you to the end of the earth. Long live Tommy. Thanks very much there.
I'm just wondering, is it a bit rude to be, thanking people there for tips while you're actually at the top of the belfry in the Vatican against the law, against well wishes, and then speculating about the next Pope and whatnot?
I don't know. It's unprecedented. I don't think this has ever happened, to be honest. I don't think anybody's ever done this. So, is it wrong? We don't know. But getting back on speculating who the next Pope is, I think the time is right for an African Pope. We haven't seen it yet. We've seen plenty of bishops and whatnot. But I think it's time for a cool African Pope who can bring a different sort of vibe to the proceedings. A bit of African magic. And we've only ever seen, I think anyway, at least, popes from Europe. Maybe South American. This was the first South American Pope, was it? Pope Francis.
Yeah, he was Argentine, as we discussed earlier. But obviously, if you're talking about who had the most effect on Argentina winning the World Cup last, it was footballer Lionel Messi, because he is more like a god on earth. I know it's wrong and sacrilege to lay claim to false deities, worship false gods and everything, but what an unbelievable touch on the ball.
Unbelievable touch. And a great force for the team as well. Is there potential Da Vinci Code scenario on the cards, asks Sean Heffernan. We don't know yet. But what we do know is that Dan Brown apparently is going to be releasing a new novel soon enough. Big Brown fan. Love the Digital Fortress. Love the Da Vinci Code. Secrets and Games, or Secrets and Demons, or whatever it's called. And there's new ones meant to be magic as well. Looking forward to reading that. Kaylee, thank you very much for the tip. Fish sandwiches and baseball caps. It's what Pope would have wanted.
Yeah, thank you very much there, Kigley. And yeah, well, let's get on to the fucking Computer Chronicles now, because, I mean, we were in the mood there for a moment or two, and we had the music going as well. Almost seems a little bit rude to play during these scenes. I don't think it fits in. Look at how happy that man was there a moment ago. Sorry about that. How happy this guy was here. His face giving out the boxes to lads. This fella, I think he was offered a copy off a fella, but he just brushed him aside and was like, no, I want mine off the fucking shelf. Leave me alone. And why wouldn't you? Of course, you would want your own copy that you've got off the shelf, just in case he's giving you a dud copy or something like that. But it's a great moment. And a lovely, lovely scene. This fella here, unfortunately, being muscled out the way. And great suspenders on the pants. Apparently, the suspense was unbearable, waiting for the doors to open to get in the shop. But he was prepared, and his pants were not going to fall down that night. Meanwhile, 1985, Computer Chronicles, Computer Graphics, halfway through it, or at least 2/3 of the way, a fella with an amazing headdress known as hair, but in a fantastic way. What would you call it? A fantastic haircut. I think this was an era when haircuts really didn't exist that much. People just did whatever their hair was. They just went with it, and there wasn't any self-consciousness about it. Just another, I don't know, indictment of our all-seeing age of cameras and fucking pictures and whatnot. Obviously, the man himself, Steuben Cigar, has his own little bit of funky business going on.
Very expensive television computer graphic.
That's a lovely little intro.
Chronicles.
So we've
Let's crank up the Stew Watts.
just seen a very expensive television computer graphic system, and James, before we saw Dazzle Draw at the other end, which
And this is it. This is James with an enlarged graphical tablet device display, which he has very nicely nestled on his lap there, and he's able to cross his legs whilst doing that, which is a great maneuver. But it's such a Dutch situation. It really is a Van Winkels, Jan Van Winkels, with the graphics tablet pad 5000. But I suppose maybe he's not Dutch, he is American, but maybe there was a bit of Dutch work in there in like the last few generations before. We all know that a lot of everyone in America, they always say, but I am 5/4 this, I'm 7/2 that, and a couple of tenths there, and a cheeky little third of this. But like at the end of the day, I mean, maybe it makes sense, because then you can actually describe, yeah, that's why I look so Dutch. Thank you very much there, Anguish Panda. And Pope Thomas J. Schlug. Thank you very much. Can you wish Chris D a happy birthday, please? I can, Chris D. Happy birthday to you. I hope you get that well there. And Anguish Panda, thank you very much. Kind tip, Tom.
Kind tip, thank you very much. Happy birthday, Chris. But just thinking there, actually, you're on about lads in America saying they're 5 this, 7 halves that, and a couple of quarters of that. Like, I'd say maybe in another 50 years, people will stop saying that.
Do you think?
Yeah, it has to be, because then you're more or less, you're so far removed from that, your background, that you're now, I mean, will people start to just become American without the caveat of saying what they are or where they're from?
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't fucking tell you. I wonder, are people not proud to say American? Or does saying you're American in other people's eyes, does that make you feel like, but I need to qualify my lineage because XYZ, because the country only got started there a few hundred years ago? Whereas it doesn't really pop into my mind. And if I was asked to even research, you know, there's probably people that have come from different areas in my ancestors' background. I don't fucking care, even, you know. But it seems to be the case for Americans that they do that. I don't know if there's other people in other parts of the world that do that as well. But obviously, if you're from a country that wasn't, you know, formed in the last 100 years or few hundred years, then maybe you're not going to think about that. Thank you very much there, Pope Thomas J. Schlug. And Muldoon's steak sandwich. Will you be staying up tonight to watch the NFL draft tonight? No, I mean, maybe I'll be awake for it, but I mean, I'm not really following it. Super Bowl. That's all I know. And even, I can't even tell you who fucking won the Super Bowl. But, just getting back to that American thing, is it not cool enough just to say you're American? Because then it's standardized to think that you could be from different, you're an exotic beast as it is. Because who knows what your lineage is, and you're just American. I think Stu, if you were to ask Stu, he is the quintessential American. Look at this man. He is confident. He gets the job done. He's got style, panache, charisma. He can hold his own amongst men. He's brilliant.
Very expensive television computer graphic system. And James, before we saw Dazzle Draw at the other end, which sells for about $60, Lumina is somewhere in between. What does Lumina do that Dazzle Draw doesn't?
We have an artist palette.
And James Dowland, there's not a hint of Dutch in the name at all. And the hair is fantastic. It's got a lot of different vibes going in one piece.
Of 256 colors on the screen at one time. And that's out of a complete choice of over 16 million colors. And so the artist can create his paint palette much like a painter of oil paint would do. And we also can display, we have 512 pixels on this screen, but we can actually create images up to 2024 pixels.
A lovely tap of the mic inadvertent. That's what happens when you've a mic on somebody who isn't in the game themselves. They forget about the fact they've got a mic on and they hit it. Clarissa explains it all. Thank you very much for the tips. It's superb crimping on show with the hair. Big crimping in the NYC, although this was San Mateo, California. But he hits the mic with his hand here.
512 pixels on this screen, but we can actually create images up to 2024 pixels across, which is getting into a resolution of any conventional medium once it gets onto film.
2,000 pixels per inch will rival a 35 millimeter piece of film.
James,
I love it. This guy is the best. He comes out with some real curveball statements and Stu doesn't receive them. He never goes and elaborates on what your man has said. I think his name is George Morrow. And yeah, it's an insane situation. He's standing in for Gary Kildall, who is the quintessential co-host for the fucking Computer Chronicles. Let's not forget. I think that there even might be an episode where Jan, with the curly hair, Curly Sue. She might even do a little bit of co-hosting. We've seen it there a few weeks ago where she was left in the background while Stu and another fella took the foreground, and there was a back and forth between them. But let's have a look at this little George Morrow bomb here.
Pixels per inch
of any conventional medium once it gets onto film.
We actually discovered that George's problem was, instead of presenting the show, he treats every time and you know, every time he gets to speak, he treats it as just a chat between the lads, and he's not really talking to the viewer. As Stu really directs and orchestrates the situation with the viewer in mind as well. Just another reason why Stu is the best. Hanley Man, thank you very much for the tip there. Very, very kind of you.
2,000 pixels per inch will rival a 35 millimeter piece of film.
James, briefly before we get to the demonstration, what's the
Lovely
hardware?
stuff. What's the hardware here? Stu wanting to rub or touch the top of that monitor situation. You can see Stu just going, yeah, you're talking, George, but where's it
will
going?
rival a 35 millimeter piece of film.
And then there's this moment hanging Chad in the air here where nothing happens. But his stance is impeccable. The hand in the pocket, the grey suit. Not a lot of people can do the grey suit. Some people might say it's dull. Some people might say it's lacking in any personality. Not Stuart Chaffee. He fucking injects much needed zazz into an old, tired concept.
1,000 pixels per inch will rival a 35 millimeter piece of film.
James, briefly before we get to the demonstration, what's the hardware configuration here?
The RGB monitor, which is kind of the FM of TV sets, displaying all the color. We have the graphics package here, which houses a hard disk drive and the basic PC type computer it's running off of.
So most of the cost is over here in this expensive color monitor, right, James?
I would say so.
And we're in the IBM PC world as opposed to the Apple.
Is
right.
James wearing fucking cowboy boots as well? He's really going hard on this little situation. I can't see because the YouTube time bar is there. Wonder if we pop that. No, it's still covering. Love to see a full shot there, wide shot of all three lads, and see if that's a cowboy boot in the studio. Maybe not. Let's move it on.
What you can do with Lumina.
Well, I'll give a sample here of a high-resolution image, and I can go in. Now, what you see is like an artist's rough sketch of the overall composition.
Thank you very much. St. Pat's took my HHC. Thank you very much. I'm in the old hospital again. Crazy bit of business. So it's lovely to have some relaxing stream of Shafate tonight. Hope yours and Tommy's foot situation is improved. Tommy.
Thanks very much for the tip there. Very, very kind of you. And Brendan Dempsey, thank you very much for the Chicago Bullock. And I don't want to alarm you, but that flag in the background isn't moving, says Conspiracy Job. We'll actually have to have a look at that flag in a moment. But thanks for asking about the foot. It seems to be on the mend. But I won't go running on it for another week, maybe.
Great stuff. Great to hear that your foot is beginning to heal. Must have been a minor fracture, was it?
It's looking like it's a minor fracture, but they say that if you just rest it for 2 weeks, then go back to light walking activity in the third, and then eventually you can start light jogging and whatnot in 4 or 5 weeks then, you know?
Fucking brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. And all because of that Jacob cat.
Yeah, we won't dwell on it. But he knows who he is. He knows what he did to me.
Unbelievable
Coming
stuff.
on the screen then will be the full resolution piece of that full image. And this is where the artist works on the image itself. You can actually paint pixel by pixel or
pixel by pixel you can paint.
Using all the various different paint brushes and color fills and
or
color
just get a
grads
brand
and airbrush
new sumptuous custom paintbrush and start going at it. No matter what the intensity or what the shape of that brush, you can really choose that kind of brush and start doing your brush work on the display. And it's quite an interesting final product for something from 1985.
And that kind of thing.
And we have here three-dimensional pieces rather than just...
George is back again. Just wondered what Tommy's favourite cave was from his recent ventures, says Rate My Cave Dog.
Thank you very much. RateMyCave.org, not Cave Dog. Thank you very much. The Priest's Cave, I have to say. The Priest's Cave, I I went down Pigeonhole, but the priest's cave was great because you didn't have to go too far into it, and you had a bit of coverage, and you got to imagine what life was like for a priest on the run from the authorities or the Brits or whoever was chasing priests back in the day. I actually can't remember.
Probably just Protestants maybe chasing the priests. I don't know. I'm just guessing that as well. But you'd think that even Protestants would have a bit of respect for priests of another nature. Do you know? It's all the same God at the end of the day. So why would you be arsed about whether or not it's a certain denomination, a sub-denominational group? I don't get it.
I would be here all day if you thought about it. You really would be here all day. I mean, there's a lot of history there.
Let's not get into it. Fuck it.
The two-dimensional pieces with the other packages. So you are getting something for your money, at least.
Sure. Yeah, the images here are rivaling the conventional airbrush painting, I would say, by the time they get out on film.
The hues there are beautiful.
I moved through the...
George is doing well. Your man, there was a little bit of a laugh at the end of what he was saying there, George. And that's usually an uncomfortability tell when someone's uncomfortable or unsure of what they're saying. You know, they'll give a little laugh at the end. Let's hear that
with
again.
The other packages. So you are getting something for your money, at least.
Sure. Yeah, the images here are...
Well, it was actually your man, the Dutchman, that laughed there. But Stu here, we can see he's utterly engrossed with this. The director decided to go in close on Stu here.
Airbrush painting, I would say, by the time they get out.
I like it. Right film. There. They didn't even want to see Stu engaging eye contact with the Dutchman. They wanted just that shot there.
The views there are beautiful.
I move through the menu, which comes up and down as I move into change forms and moves. I can pick a piece of the image.
Pick a piece.
Move it to a new location.
Wow.
And this is one of the methods of editing an image, moving pieces around and around. And if this was a new piece of the image, then I would hit put box, and it would put it back in that full view image.
James, could you pull up that first picture we saw? It's pretty impressive. George mentioned dimensionality, and that...
Could you pull that up, James? It would be great to have a Stu cast from 1980s if he'd have just... Imagine that someone had just had the foresight to realize that long-form waffling about any old shite was going to really take off like a rocket to the fucking moon. And then they recorded just lots of waffle and then released it serially, you know, paid subscription job. And people would be fucking paying money to listen to someone talk from the past, but it's in the future. Would that work even? I don't know how you do that. Maybe it's a thought for, it's a thought for tomorrow. If you're out there and you're wondering what the next thing would be, although I came up with the idea here, okay? So please do get in touch if you want to do this. Record, actually, no, it doesn't make sense because there's so many podcasts going on nowadays that people in the future wanting to know what life was like anyway back now will just listen to any of the podcasts that are being recorded now from today. So that idea that I just had, it's actually shite, lads. Hopefully you didn't act on it or invest any money. But I mean, you would have only have had, 30, 45 seconds until I realized it was shite. Some of you might have even known it was shite from the moment I said it. So I doubt anybody lost any money, but maybe. That's
a great example of kind of the 3D look you have
Here's
here.
Here's another detail of that full image.
Yeah. Also, while you're pulling up that other picture, what do you do about hard copy? It's nice to see it on the screen, but I take it if you're an artist, you want to get a hold of this sooner or later. How do you do that?
What are you on about? I know it might sound confusing, but what I was saying was, imagine he'd recorded loads of podcasts back in the day and then released them now, knowing that everyone was into podcasts, and then people would have been like, wow, have you heard this podcast? It's from the 1980s, but it's now, and it's never been heard until now. But it wouldn't work. Would not work.
Best method of...
Maybe it would work.
Pulling all this wonderful color would be to put it onto film, and I use an Ektachrome, Kodak Ektachrome. Once you get this displayed on film,
you would shoot the screen?
No, we use a film recorder, it's called. They range everywhere from $3,000 or $4,000 up.
This is direct from disc onto film?
That's right. Yeah, it's a digital input into the film recorder.
So there's no compromise in the transfer?
Right.
The transfer is
Stu really doesn't dig much of George at all, you know? You do feel a little bit bad for George at the end of the day. Thank you very much. A Chaffee stream is essential stream, but Warzone is where the bread gets baked, says Stu's second cousin. Will you be flying out of Verdansk again soon, or has the Ryanair flights gone through the roof? They have. You know, when it gets to summer, they start jacking up the prices, and it's an absolute rat race to get a decent fucking priced fare out there. So I'm not saying I won't be. And look, as I said at the beginning, I still haven't gone into recovery. I've just admitted that I'm an addict. I haven't made any effort to address the addiction, nor will I, for quite some time.
And what's the resolution of the picture we're looking at?
This is a
now,
512 image, which has a very
That's a
clean look,
more
and part of the reason we can get such a
tripped out sort of Timothy Leary tune in, turn on, drop out sort of affair there. I wonder will anything be made
nice
of that.
angled lines, etc., without seeing too many of the jaggies, which haunts computer graphics artists. The colors have been anti-aliased, which means for an angled line you can.
We're going to get an explanation of anti-aliasing, a big term in the games world there. I've often had people telling me, this is shite, man. Can you turn off anti-aliasing, or can you put it on? It looks terrible. Somebody even wrote, what did they write? This was painful to watch. I won't be tuning in again. The anti-aliasing, the screen tearing is awful. Thank you very much to Stu's second cousin. No worries. Lowry is a Scot, you say. Let's have a little listen to this. I need to get a good explanation.
etc., without seeing too many of the jaggies, which haunts computer graphics artists. The colors have been anti-aliased, which means for an angled line you can see the various ramping, it's called, of color, which ranges from background to the current color.
What? Say that again?
Anti-aliased, which means haunts computer graphics artists. The colors have been anti-aliased, which means for an angled line you can see the various ramping, it's called, of color, which ranges from background to the current color that...
This is so the monitor isn't too badly disturbed as it makes a transition from one surface to another.
That's
is it?
right. Uh-huh.
Gentlemen,
Still don't get it. Gentlemen, thanks very much. Gentlemen, we'd love to stay and talk longer, but we gotta go. Maybe I've never heard of We Gotta Go in 1985. The We Gotta Go didn't enter the Stuart Chaffee lexicon until the early 90s, when Hustle and Harry mode became activated.
thank you very much. We're out of time.
Lovely stuff. So reverential, deferential, and respectful of what's going on, but still classy.
Surface to another.
That's
is it?
right. Uh-huh.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. We're out of time. Now, is a computer picture really worth 1,000 words? Our commentator Paul Schindler has some final thoughts.
This is the way computers like to communicate information. This is the way human beings like to receive.
Get ready for the Virgo bomb, the John Virgo face reveal bomb 5000. Big break.
This is the way computers like to.
Schindler loves this. He loves to do funny, kooky little stuff with his little piece to camera, his little VTs. We often see him doing weird stuff, maybe dancing, singing, dressed up. Let's see what he's got for us here.
Communicate information.
Schindler's List. There he has, says Night Owl.
This is the way human beings like to receive information. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Now, graphics are all about ending that failure to communicate, that tendency of computers to spew out tables, and the inability of human beings to turn such data into information. You know, there is a difference. Data are just facts. Information are facts in context.
Data are just facts.
Of computers to spew out tables, and the inability of human beings to turn such data into information. You know, there is a difference. Data are just facts. Information are facts in context that are usable for decisions. One of this country's biggest problems right now is its feast of data and its famine of information. Like most things done on a computer, the conversion of facts to information can also be done by hand. But as computers get cheaper and humans get more expensive, the graphics departments of this world are shrinking and disappearing to be replaced by computers. If we're not to drown in a sea of unusable data, we're going to need all the help we can get to convert it into information. Computers can, will, and must help. You've seen the signs of it on this show. Computer graphics are moving from the stick figure era into the 20th century. They still have a long way.
It's the real campaign here. I don't even know what he's going on about. Usually he's telling us about a product, but it seems to be some sort of polemic about how we need to really start taking data seriously. And maybe he was right. The way, graphics have started to become a lot more prevalent in news articles and stuff like that. What with people being able to get all this fucking loads of data together and put it into some sort of nice visual display. Maybe that's what he's on about. But I was lost in what he was saying the moment we seen his face, to be honest with you. I had more other things were going on, like his face and the cardigan and the shirt as well, and his enthusiasm.
Convert it into information. Computers can, will, and must help. You've seen the signs of it on this show. Computer graphics are moving from the stick figure era into the 20th century. They still have a long way to go, but they have to go that way to save us from all that data. That's my opinion. I'm Paul Schindler.
And a lovely sign off as well, and that classic Schindler's smile at the end as well. Senior West Coast editor for Information Week. And you can imagine the sort of hangouts and sessions these boys would have after the recording of one of these episodes. They probably swing down to a local coffee shop or whatever in San Mateo and hang out. There'd be a lot of big time Silicon Valley bucks just emerging, Stanford University, all that jazz. Hot weather, little bags with fucking technology in them, processors, lads just handing out processors, people in garages tinkering around, making stuff out of fucking thin air. And you just have boys like Schindler and Shafee driving around, having a good time. Just really buzzed and positive about the future.
But they have to go that way to save us from all that data. That's my opinion. I'm Paul Schindler.
Real West Coast shit. Like the two of these lads in one of those cars that bounces up and down that you'd see on in LA, Latino gangs and just blasting out fucking gangster. This was probably before gangster rap even,
In the random access file
Beautiful
this
stuff.
week,
Gives Stu enough time to get into his little box for random access there.
In the random access file this week, the experts say you should stop waiting for the IBM PC2. They say there won't be a PC2 in the foreseeable future. Rumors have circulated for months that IBM was preparing to launch the PC2 featuring the 8286 chip. Recent
rappers were still here to say it was that kind of way back then. It was still a kind of a fun, quirky sort of hit it. And then it went very hardcore and nasty then in the early to mid 90s. And Stupak, Stuart Shafee's alter ego, where he released a lot of his hardcore gangster computer raps. Stupak Shafee and Dr. Stu's The Computer Chronicles, that album as well. I think I have the graphic here somewhere, but obviously I've mislaid it at this important juncture where it would have been useful. Nevertheless, we'll continue with this.
price cuts in the IBM PC line also fueled the speculation of a new PC, but several market analysts now say the price cuts were aimed only at moving inventory, that IBM's margins on the current PC lines are very healthy, and that there will be a long wait before the entry of the PC2. Meanwhile, at Apple, confusion continues to reign with rumors of massive job layoffs, hostile buyouts by Steve Jobs, and possible takeover attempts. And the general slump in the computer business was everywhere this past week. Layoffs were announced at Wang, where the company projected a quarterly loss for the first time in its history. Controlled data.
Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but when it comes out, it's just a bunch of gibberish. What's that line? Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips, just a bunch of gibberish. Turns out, mother effers forgot about Stu.
Data announced the closing of 29 plants for a 2-week period. Grid Systems announced a layoff of 10% of its workforce, and Advanced Micro Devices announced the closing of its factories for 2 weeks. One booming part of the computer business is security. The U.S. government, through a program called Tempest, is modifying thousands of personal computers to eliminate the government through a
Look at the offset there on the kerning, or the, what would you say there, that is? when one letter is a little bit higher than the rest of it there. Would that be would that be a kerning issue, or is that paragraph? I'm not sure, but it kind of makes Chronicles look a little bit jokey, like the show is not a serious contender in the dispatchment of information regarding San Mateo Bay Area electronic wonderment. It's more of a kind of a joke. So I hope whoever did that was reprimanded or at least fired. Look at this situation here. Very, very philosophical.
Program called Tempest is modifying thousands of personal computers to eliminate the radio signals which computers emit, signals which indicate what the computer is doing. Those signals can be recorded and lead to eavesdropping. The cost of securing the PCs is incredible. The government's National Security Agency says a $3,000 computer can cost $10,000 after it has been silenced.
Nice. Twisted! Schultz, thank you very much for the tip there.
There's no silencing one Paul Schindler, and that's a good thing.
Brilliant. Another fucking cameo from the Schindmeister General, Oscar Schindler.
Here's Paul with this week's review.
And look at this. He gets his own little graphic with his own fucking signature on it as well. Paul something Schindler something. Paul C. Schindler something G. He's really going hard on it there. Love to have his autograph on a picture of him or something, or maybe just a crew from the Computer Chronicles. We know he's doing tunes on YouTube.
There is no silencing one Paul Schindler, and that's a good thing. Here's Paul with this week's review.
Once again, it's time to take a look at some software for
and
kids.
It's the family of Stu
this time,
are
we're
involved.
going to have a look at Sticky Bear ABC for children.
The family of Stu are involved, and the piece of software is called Sticky Bear ABC.
Loved it. First, let me say that it comes nicely packaged with a book and a poster as well as some stickers. Now, I don't know about your kids, but Marlo loves stickers. You know, it's difficult to say just what
Marlo would be a boy's name, no?
age range is appropriate for some of these programs, but I think the Sticky Bear people got it just right. Now, you look and see if you agree. There are 52 different animated pictures in this package.
It's
2 for each letter
very rudimentary stuff.
of the alphabet. Although, for example, the picture for grass is a little obscure.
It's red grass. It just says grass, and there's a load of red grass.
Most of the others are easily recognizable. Kids learn the sense of control they get from hitting the keyboard and changing pictures. And as an added plus, they learn how keyboards are laid out. Now, I've tried several packages of this type, and Sticky Bear is the easiest to use. It also sports the best graphics. Sticky Bear ABC, $40 from Xerox Educational Publications in Middletown, Connecticut. Give it a look. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
The early reviews of
That was a lovely bit of product placement there. $40 for Sticky Bear, but wonder how many dollars were laced inside the palm of Schindler's fist. We don't know, but it was probably a nice little amount. I'd say Stu saw some percentile of that as well. Sheer mercantile behavior from Schindler. And then obviously Stu got his cut. I can't see Stu not getting a cut of it. But now we've got a lovely bit of jazz coming up there.
Yeah, 2 baby 496. Oh, Scott, but Stu.
Give it a look. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
The early reviews of jazz are coming in. The positives...
Just jazz as a genre. The early reviews of jazz are coming in. And as we know, people were not allowed to review jazz as a genre up until 1985 when the jazz ban was lifted and everybody was allowed to jazz again. And it ended a very, very dark chapter in American history because, as we know, the music was seen as, it was scary to a lot of American people. They thought it was, we can't allow jazz on the scene. That's just going to erode our values. And, you know, that's not right. But thankfully, you know, 20 years, 30 years after the civil rights movement, and jazz was finally allowed again. I mean, up until that point, you had to go to these very shady places in order to consume and enjoy jazz. and you weren't allowed to review it or write about it or anything like that. But now, 1985, once the ban was lifted, they were doing all sorts with jazz, even making fucking what seems to be software related to the concept.
Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
The early reviews of jazz are coming in. The positives
And it's good.
are ease of use, splashy graphics, and some nice new features, but the criticisms are not enough memory, slow access, and the lack of macros.
Don't tell me it was like, what does jazz do? Don't tell me it was like a music fucking based digital audio workstation based on jazz. That wouldn't make sense. Because surely any musical endeavor would just be, you know, embracing the electronic side of things. Everything jazz wasn't. So what the fuck was jazz?
At the annual Robotics
And we will never know. And I like it like that. I like that we will never know what that program was unless you go looking for it.
Conference held this past week in Detroit, manufacturers showed off new sophisticated robots with vision and force sensing. The new robots can recognize
Robots.
parts in any position and can tell when something is going wrong by feeling the extra pressure when parts don't fit right. Robotics engineers say this new generation of smart robots could overcome some of industry's hesitancy to move into robotics. Meanwhile, the consumer robot business continues.
Great stuff. It's a cat called Pet Star, and it comes inside a box. Looks frightened, but don't worry about that. Once you get it outside the box, it is anything but. And it has a very, very suspicious tail that points upwards like that. What does it do? Let's see.
Boom with the possibility of another big robot Christmas. Two ex-Atari execs, founder Nolan Bushnell and former
Nolan Bushnell.
President Donald Kingsborough have each
Donald Kingsborough and Nolan Bushnell
come up with competing computerized pet robots. The new Petsters are mini versions of the animated androids made famous at the Pizza Time theaters. These cats and bears sing, dance, and respond to the noises of their owners.
A.G. Bear. Very, very intimidating, strange looking scenario from that bear.
Complex facial movements. Both robot pet entrepreneurs say they've already taken over $75 million in orders. Finally, a Mega Wars freak in New Jersey got so
Brilliant stuff. Mega Wars. Don't even know what the hell this is, but a Mega Wars freak in New Jersey had done something. And it looks like a kind of Ming the Merciless-esque dodgy Martian book. And then a He-Man gladiatorial figure in boots and underpants. And then a bird in stilettos, body costume, and fucking pistols. Who's, I don't know whether or not she's going to finish the two of them, like kill them both, or what's the story there? Maybe they're both on each other's side. Mega Wars.
So addicted to the CompuServe dollars in orders. Finally, a Mega Wars freak in New Jersey got so addicted to the CompuServe space game that he may find himself in a terrestrial jail. Ken Golden of Cherry Hill, New Jersey got so hooked on Mega Wars that he stole a credit card number to be able to stay online all night and defend his solar system. He may have won the interstellar war, but he lost the legal battle and faces a 5-year prison term and a $250,000 fine. Not too logical.
What? He fucking was online gaming. I didn't even know he was online then with a credit card, and now he's going to jail for it. I just need to be aware of some of the pitfalls, because you do lose yourself in these online games. You know, you forget what time it is. You forget about life.
Game that he may find himself in a terrestrial jail. Ken Golden of Cherry Hill, New Jersey got so hooked on Mega Wars that he stole a credit card number to be able to stay online all night.
Okay, so he stole. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to steal a fucking credit card, then, I mean, you're probably going to go to jail. Like, Cherry Tree, New Jersey, was this?
Serve space game that he may find. Finally, a Mega Wars freak in New Jersey got so addicted to the CompuServe space game that he may find himself in a terrestrial jail. Ken Golden of Cherry Hill, New Jersey got so hooked on Mega.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Eric, my last name. Thank you very much. Mega Wars equals Warzone 85. Thank you very much for the tip there. Maps there and see if we can Cherry Hill, New Jersey this. Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That's Philadelphia. Is Philadelphia in fucking New Jersey, is it? Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. But half of the city is in New Jersey. Cherry Hill Mall. It's probably where he might have stole the credit card, look. Shopping mall in Cherry Hill. Macy's. It looks exactly like the Jervis Street Centre there. Do you know the bit with the when you're downstairs and there's a little cafe or restaurant under that bit there, but obviously there's more depth to that. It's amazing, isn't it? We're literally getting inside the mind of the man who stole the credit card to fund his online gaming habit, while people were using those credit cards to buy products such as shoes, such as food in the food courts, Michael Kors handbags, clothes, Forever 21, jelly, fruit, rugs, towels, $4.99, savings, sale, memory foam, pillows, bedspreads, shirts, bathrobes, suits, ties, slacks, belts, tiles, shine, sheen, cone, Ralph Lauren. Anything else there? Let's see. A nice little pool there. This is just Cherry Hill Mall, ladies and gentlemen. Cherry Hill Mall. The mall from the hometown of a man who stole a credit card to fund an online gaming binge and went to prison, possibly. Fruit sensations. I just see it says chillers. And look at the produce on display there. Some great fresh fruit.
Years ago, I was
Chinese. Thank you very much there, Gentle Monster, for that kind-hearted and generous tip. And I really like that clip of the man from Shenmue saying, years ago, I was Chinese. And then I'm happy that I put the sleazy music from one of the bars in Shenmue to the clip as well. Even though that didn't happen in the original game, in the moment it happened when you meet that guy. I'm happy that I put that music to it as well there. This is a makeup section here. It's just your bog standard mall. There's not much else to really say about it other than it is a mall. Black Friday. I just get the feeling I've seen a video taken from this particular height and angle during a Black Friday mall. And I'm not on about M-A-L-L, I'm saying M-A-U-L. A mall inside a mall. When people went absolutely beloobas and fucking started tearing into each other. A Christmas Story? More Michael Kors? Take it down. Handbags. Michael Kors. Michael Moore made a film about it. Handbag 9/11. Fahrenheit. Take it down. Famous footwear. Famous footwear. Are you joking? I don't ever recall any sort of unless it's footwear worn by famous people. But even then, you're limiting yourself. You're going to have the relevant picture proof to tell me that those people have won it. This must be a COVID situation. A lot of people trying to enjoy life, trying to inject a bit of normality into their Bizarro World Day during the pandemic was a crazy time, but we've squashed it inside a box and we don't really talk about it anymore because we're sick of it. Too much was made of it at the time. Don't really want to hear too much about it now. I'd rather just pretend it never happened. Thanks very much. But it did happen, and here's the proof. You see, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and you'd be eating very well there if you went and got yourself some lovely fruit chillers from the fruit section at Cherry Hill Mall. Cherry Hill, of course, the place where the man stole a credit card to fund his gaming addiction. I didn't even know online games existed in 2000 or 1985. Like, you must have had some fucking rig and setup to get on the online world. Even he must have had money, which really begs the question: why did he need to go and thief? Why did he need to go and thief? So Macy's a shop, or are Macy's a mall that has other shops inside? Or Macy's like a fucking Debenhams, where there's loads of different departments inside the fucking joint. It's a department store, okay. Probably the original, probably the best. Thank you very much there, Sir Willie and Gentlemonster. I hope you're getting on well there. What's in the joint? Asked Thomas Byrne. Well, I'll tell you what's in the fucking joint. They've got an Aldi. Would you believe that? An Aldi in the States. An Aldi in the States. I wonder, is Aldi and Lidl doing well in the States now? A lot of fucking talk about Aldi. They must be all over the shop. Food market as well. What's it like inside in America? Is it the exact same as we have it? Bit different. Different kind of fridges, but mostly similar. Bit different, but mostly similar. What about there? Do they have Alfredo pizzas? Do they have Newgate? I don't know, that would be Lidl, but do they have Macy's milkshake mix? I wonder, are they allowed to make Macy's products when Macy's are a name over there? What's that? Mama Casa, Mama something pizza, Italian or Indian style butter flavor chickpea pizza. It's an interesting scenario. We don't have that here. Pissing crunch or rising crunch. Philly cheesesteak pizza. They've got a lot of nice stuff going on in the Aldi over there. I'd love to really get involved and see what they're doing. They have their middle aisle as well. Look out for this week's red hot deals. Red hot, piping hot. Sometimes they might even go white hot with how good the deals are, that the heat becomes literally white to the eye. Cranberry and apple in boxes, stuff on pallets in boxes. It's old school. Great lighting. Very nice. I mean, if you were to look at that, just briefly glimpse at it, you'd almost think the pillars are shaped that way, but no, it's not. It's the lighting as well. Say hello to Fresh. Impossibly low prices. A collection of bags. I know what's going on there. They're banana boxes, and the bananas inside those boxes, which are strong, robust boxes. If you ever want to get yourself a box in those shops, the banana's your only man. The only problem is you need to make sure nothing's going to get through that hole in the bottom. The rest of the cardboard, very rugged, very, very durable. But the bananas come wrapped up in a little bagging inside the box as well. You'll know if you've ever cracked one open. You're hit with a massive blast of banana scent. Sometimes it just doesn't smell right. Sometimes and I love bananas. They're a great fruit. They're a wonder fruit. They're a powerful fruit. But to the blast of sweaty bananas in a warm fruit and veg stock room sometimes just is not good at all. Chaz, thank you very much there for the tip. I hope you're getting on well. A piece of meat, and that's chuck roast, Black Angus chuck roast, and I tell you, you'd be paying top dollar for something like that. Although $7.99 doesn't really sound that bad at all. But is it good? Is the quality there, you know? Is it grass-fed beef, Tom?
GFB, it needs to be GFB. And that's, unfortunately, I don't think the Americans really get to feel the thrill of ingesting grass-fed beef. A lot of it could be in factories and shops, fed on whatnot. Who knows what? Chief Musty G, thank you very much for the tip. Who's to say my book about his Aldi in America? Who's to say my book is about his Aldi in America? Thank you very much there, and Andy, very, very kind of you there. Francis?
Yeah, not a grass-fed scenario, but it's a great food market. Look, we've been here a few moments now. They must be doing something right if they've kept us here. They're asking you to go home, log on to Facebook, and start giving them the thumbs up. You know, they're asking a lot of you there. But they deserve it. They've put on a great spread, a great show, and at a very, very competitive price. They say it's an impossibly low price. I say it's very possible. It's well within their remit and not unheard of. So I think they're over egging the pudding there, but we won't hold that against them. Their meat again, not for me. Although I haven't tried it firsthand. Somebody has. Somebody's got a lot of it and they've enjoyed it. So you can't really argue with the public. You'll never win.
Lovely slice of ham.
A lovely slice of ham is what was probably bought there. Or maybe multiple lovely slices of ham. Andy, thank you very much for the tip. And Anonymous, very, very kind of you as well. We'll move on from this. Just want to see a few more photographs. I got to hand it to the people. There's more photographs of the Aldi in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, than there are of the Macy's, which is a real indictment of Macy's and their inability to create an engaging, fun experience of a mall, because that's what America is. It's the experience. You know, people spend it. From what I've learned from a lot of American media, is the mall is the place to hang out. It's a place to go, even if you're not buying stuff, go down the mall, have a good time in the mall. But what's the story? Macy's failed to capitalize on that mall love. And it's all Aldi, 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 Aldi. People just wanted to spend their time in Aldi nowadays. Maybe, potentially, Aldi will branch out and evolve into something bigger. But I just can't see it. They've got a winning combination, winning formula. What about yourself, Tom?
They're doing everything right. And Lidl, they're doing everything right. They've completely shaken up the supermarket business in this country, and all the other supermarkets are left with smashed eggs on the floor at the moment, crying over their yolks, crying over their egg whites, and that is just probably a visual representation of how the other big chains are feeling right now, what with Lidl and Aldi taking over the game. They are the Tony Montana of America at the moment, and they've gone out there and they're fucking absolutely taking the whole show over. You know, first you get the supermarket, then you get the eggs, then you get the beef, and then you get the money, and then you get the power, and then you get the woman.
And then you get the woman. The quote there by Tony Montana from Miami, from fucking, what was the film? Scarface. Protein bars. Now, people are loving this stuff, and why not? It's great. You need it. It's one of the components of food that we all need. We're being told nowadays that we need protein to beat the band. Like, what was wrong with just having your fucking breakfast, dinner, and a bit of supper? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Was there not enough protein in that? Now it's all you need it now every time of day. Milkshakes, protein milk, protein bars, protein cars, protein balls, protein max. Get your protein. Middle Aisle Mayhem, thanks for the tip. And Paul Mescal, what would the middle aisle in an American Aldi be like? Rifles? Question mark. F-50 trucks? Question mark. I don't know if you get a fucking Ford 50 into the middle aisle of that. Maybe some sort of Parkside Chinese derivative or something, or German. Would they say? I'd say they sell plenty of Chinese stuff on the middle aisle as well. But I'm not sure about guns either. You hear about that in Walmart. And but Tom, I was asking you about the evolution of Lidl and Aldi and where they're going.
You was, again, I don't think they're going to get too big for their boots. I think their whole thing is keeping it simple. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's not to say that people who go in there are stupid. That's just the mantra. They keep it simple and don't fucking go over bar on it. Because you've got the Walmart boys. They probably thought, let's turn this into let's sell guns. Let's sell butter. Let's sell cars. Let's sell fucking subscriptions to stuff. Let's sell anything we can get our hands on. But with Aldi and with Lidl, it's just, it's the Germans. They do a good job. And sometimes they do a job and it goes a bit too far. But at the moment they're doing a great job. Let's just hope they don't have any extra ambitions and then, end up doing something terrible. Because right now their shop is great and we just need to make sure it stays that way. And you got to hand it to the reduced style section. The reduced tray, I do call it. Well, you'll find anything from yogurts to salad in a bag to ricotta or soups, hang, the whole shebang. They'll have it there reduced in the night as well. Fantastic. I mean, they could, if they wanted, they could expand and do all sorts. But they're a simple. They're about keeping it simple. They're about keeping it simple, and a lot of their stuff as well. They've done great on getting it from different places and then putting a brand on it like Newgate or putting a brand name on it like Macy's or fucking Papa Carlos or any of that shite. They've done great. I don't think they'll expand.
Don't think they'll expand now. This, unfortunately, here. I'm sorry there. We're meant to be watching Computer Chronicles. This is a shame right here. And I find that you do get a lot of this in Lidl and Aldi. And it's just a testament to how busy they get, Supermarket opinions. Thanks for the tip there. What's your thoughts on the supermarket chain Iceland? I've never been in it. You hear about it. I think it's like freezer culture, isn't it? People are into fucking freezer stuff. I've nothing against it. Fair play to them. 1939, thanks for the tip. €1. Is there even Iceland in supermarket in Ireland? I think it's a fucking British thing, is it? Or maybe it's a European thing, I don't know. Maybe it's an Icelandic thing. I mean, maybe it's that. And we're just going through the motions here at the moment. And again, another picture of the floor there. Somebody didn't want to let this one go. But if you're in a country where it's like cold and slushy and shit, and you've high footfall, the staff are already fucking ran around. I've never seen staff operate in such a fashion, in such a precise, high-powered fashion than I do in Lidl and Aldi. Compared to the other supermarkets, it's like they're on DEFCON alert, red alert, orange alert, wherever it is about Lidl and Aldi. They really, really make their staff work to the gills. And they're on the headsets as well. It's a precision engineering scenario inside these gaffs, I have to say. And you have big time respect for them. And I'm able to, it makes me look past stuff like this. Because the operation, they're running a fucking tight ship. And no doubt if you ask the staff what the situation is in there regarding certain products, they will, go and have a look if it's not on the shelf. But it's a high pressure working environment, I have to say. Tom, what's your thoughts?
Yep, they're always on the move. Never a dull moment. Not to say that the staff in the other shops are not working hard or anything like that. It just seems to be, if I was to describe the working environment inside Lidl or Aldi, I would just have to say it's German. I've never worked in Germany or worked for any Germans. But I just say it's German.
Lovely chocolate selection there as well. And of course, you do get the brand name stuff intertwixed with their own crazy little goods as well. And what's the point in that video there? Somebody has uploaded a video of Aldi. Not even a second. What goes through someone's mind there, Tom?
Quite frankly, there is nothing going on in that person's mind. I don't think at that moment. I think they could have what's known in the business as fat-fingered it, whereby they've got the phone out, they've started recording a clip inadvertently, and then uploaded it to Google. Far further, thank you very much for the tip, sir.
Far further, thank you very much for the tip there. Tight ship indeed, you see. Tight ship indeed. Shop and Stop has these automated pylon cones cleaning up mess. I believe they call the robot Marty. The thing gives me the creeps. So that's some insider information there from somebody at Shop and Stop who says that they've even got robots doing the God's honest. Whoever the fuck this person is has an absolute grudge and vendetta against Aldi Cherry Hill, New Jersey, because it's Crystal Ree who calls herself Beautiful Chrissy. Now, my suspicions have been aroused not only because of the blatant slander of Lidl and Aldi there. I mean, that's not even that bad. What, a fucking tissue on the floor. Get over it. But anyone who refers to themselves as beautiful in their name, in parentheses afterwards, seriously has something going on that we don't know about. We're going to click here. No offense, Crystal Ree, but at the same time, this is a public situation. You have wanted people to see this. You went out of your way, Crystal. We're going to have to give you an audit, a Google review audit, to see what's going on. Because I bet you scratch beneath the surface and you're probably someone who goes out of their way to shame local businesses behind an anonymous or semi-anonymous handle and name. You have no skin in the game, but you've got a lot of problems with people and stuff. Social Security Administration, that was a photo you have of it. You've just uploaded a photograph of their number, and look at this. Lovely stuff. We have found ourselves a disgruntled reviewer who has left a lot. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Look, Charlotte Hall is fine, okay? But the regular number to get Social Security info puts the caller on hold and never answers. Seriously. I was on hold for 5 hours. That's a lie. That's a lie because you'd never do that. On a Friday, which is supposed to be the light day for wait times, do you not see how you're undermining your own little grudge post there by revealing to people that you're the kind of person who will hold on for 5 hours on a phone call? Not happened. It never happened, Crystal. It never happened. Pure and utter lies. I then called back on Monday, only to never have the call answered again. I'm not surprised. They saw your fucking number calling. The 5 hour holdout woman or whatever you are. I don't know. It's a false name. When I called the Charlotte Hall office, the message said, please call again later. Because they had a high call volume. Hire some people. And that's got 6 exclamatory punctuation marks known as exclamation marks. Unbe-fucking-lievable. And that's not even the review that we came to look at there. This is Crystal Ree's Aldi compendium here. Look, and there's more, and there's more, and there's more. Wow. How fucking long did you spend in there on this photo shoot? Did you even alert the staff that you were doing this? This is strange behavior from a normal human, if you're pretending to be a normal human. Let's have a look here. Aldi have really got a lot to answer for here from Crystal Ree. Somebody there, Dara Max, saying definitely a little spy. I think I need even a sandwich just to start going through this. These are the I'm just gonna get a sandwich. Sorry there, 1 second there. I'll be back 1 moment there. I am stomach is it's from seeing all this food here. Stomach is going 90.
Mobile Ozel, yeni technology. Rocky Peace Bars in your skorana. Eren Hernier. Oi, ulan, 30 TL. 1000 TL percent 100. Turkey Ninlik. Mobile bahis, Sebdin. Mobile bahis.
Moondust. 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 Moondust is still a problem. Moondust. 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 Moondust is still a problem. Moondust. Moondust. Moondust.
Crazy little guys.
I'm the Lord of Tea and Toast.
I've never done this, going into a shop, and then I did, I think, try to leave a disgruntled review once, but I couldn't even bring myself to post it. And also then thought two things. One, I knew that I'd probably potentially feel bad about it after. And two, I didn't want the business owner, being able to find me and track me down, you know. Italia, thank you very much for the tip. The review of Aldi sounds like a bit like a Jacques Villeneuve job. I don't get it. I don't get the reference, but thank you very much there for the tip. The floor is filthy. We understand that. And in the eastern part of the States, you can imagine in whatever, is this winter? April 23, there's going to be a mix of weather, you know. It's the text is what I'm looking forward to. The thing is, if you're going to do it, upload some decent snaps as well. This doesn't work. That's a nothing to me. A piece of lettuce on the floor. For fuck's sake, give it a rest. You'd think this person lives in a palace. But you do have to wonder if somebody has this time on their hands to do this, they've little to be fucking doing. Like 2 pictures of the same fucking shelf, and it's not even that bad. Where is the review? Those spuds look nice. Or the apples. I don't know what I'm saying. There's some mango in a punnet beside a weighing scale. Let's have a look at the review. Ha! Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Quick update there for anybody out there on the eastern seaboard. There is a road fire in Jones. This isn't a drill. Road fire in Jones. Crystal Ree filthiest place in Waldorf. These pictures have been taken over multiple dates. Okay, so this was a dossier. This is part of Crystal Ree's multi-part strategy to bring down Aldi. It shows a consistent pattern of filth. This might be a situation where I begin to admire the complainant. A consistent pattern of filth at this exploiting company's so-called grocery store in the Waldorf, Maryland store located at 3286 Cron Highway. Waldorf, Maryland 20603. The photos were posted here for their HQ to view. As the wealthiest predominantly black community in the US, I'm surprised the county... So is it going to get racial here? Have we opened up a race box? This allows horrible company to operate. We deserve better. The new store in La Plata looks like it is headed in the same direction, as far as filthy being the norm. No other grocery stores are dirty like this. Don't know what's going on here. Let's go out there and see if there's another part of our multi-pronged attack, leveling accusations of filthery at Lidl and Aldi in Waldorf, Maryland. Oh no, this is all one post. A massive, massive post. Yeah, multiple posts and then the bomb drop at the end of it as well. Yeah, same fucking thing. This looks a little bit more flattering now. Marriott's Beach Place Towers. This place is the best of both worlds. On one side, we watch the boat parade from our balcony with a view of the gorgeously illuminated city. On the other side, we chilled, taking in the view of the waves of the beach from the 19th floor. We could also walk to shops, restaurants, clubs, and the beach. No hotel is closer to the beach, in fact. We ventured out to the mall and enjoyed some shopping before doing a tasting at a liquor store, before buying groceries to stock our villa. I love this place. We'll be back again. I wondered if they respond going, thank you so much, Crystal. Oh, love you so much. No, didn't the Marriott. She was probably hoping the Marriott would write back and go, here's 10% off, Crystal, for the next time you come to our beautiful hotel. But the Marriott didn't fucking bother, Crystal. Which left you in a real shit situation, didn't it? Left you angry, and then you went out to Lidl and started hammering them for being the filthiest grocery store in Waldorf. Because you couldn't live your fucking Marriott life when buying your eggs in Lidl. You had to have it the Marriott way. Everything was the Marriott after the Marriott, wasn't it? Get real, Crystal. Get fucking real. This is Lidl. Deal with it. Victoria's birthday party at sex restaurant and lounge. Or Saks, I beg your pardon. I can't see it was too small there. And that's a Saks restaurant, but I mean, whatever the fuck a Saks restaurant and lounge is, it looks like it could be the other thing I said. Fucking manumission vibes. You don't know what's going on. They've got glow sticks. Or are they fucking golf clubs or something? Maybe that's Crystal there. Maybe he's Crystal. Let's get out there and just see what other abominations they've done. I know you might be thinking this is shite, and it is. But let's just have a little look and see. A month ago, this is the hottest one yet.
Slice of ham.
Lovely slice of ham. Chief Musty G, thank you very much there for the lovely slice of ham. 0 out of 5 stars. Little Fortunestown, you're saying. Collapsed roof and JCB digger. 2nd of the 3rd, 2018. Blocking trolleys. will go elsewhere in the future. I wonder, did they fix that place up? A lot of people say when they see the images of the JCB digger going through Lidl, a lot of people do come out the trap to say, oh, this is scummy behavior. They're rats. Society has gone to shite and all this. And I'm not saying that it was in any way, shape, or form good to see, and it wasn't. It's bad. But, I think maybe some people are jealous that people have got a JCB and they've gone through Lidl for a shortcut and then they're coming away with stuff. I think some people are jealous about that, and then they put their comments in. I didn't say anything. I don't do that. I like to read other. I'm not fucking doing it. Try calling. I mean, hopefully nobody got hurt or died or anything like that. But as far as I can remember, nobody died. But there was a lot of good. The snow brought out a lot of crazy behavior as well. So, it's one of those situations where you just have to fucking roll with the flow. Roll with the flow on this one. Crystal Ree is back at it again. This time 3 months ago, she had a lot to say about women's health in Waldorf. I just think there's something about this new generation of people now where, is this your outlet, is it? Going on a fucking website and shouting shit at people that annoyed you because the service that you paid for didn't do X, Y, and Z when it should have done A, B, and C. Clemilino Martinez, thank you very much there. Poor effort with her photos, it must be said. Try calling in any one of them. It will take at least 20 tries before someone answers the phone. Again, I think that's a you problem, Crystal. I wouldn't be answering. If I saw you calling, if that fucking picture came up on my phone, I'd throw the fucking bin in the phone. I'd throw the phone in the river. I'd take the SIM card out and I'd get a hammer and a nail and just hammer the nail into the SIM card. Response from the owner. Crystal, we're very sorry for the challenges you encountered while trying to reach us. We'd like to reach out to you to follow up and see if there's anything we can do to help. If you're willing, please fill out our secure online feedback form. We hope to speak with you soon. It's lovely to know that she had to go through the indignity and rigmarole of filling out a fucking feedback form. Didn't even get to speak one-on-one. Crystal, thank you very much for the tip there. I just love seeing people not getting what they want here, especially when they've gone on the attack. Oh, God, another one. That's the one that we've seen already. Good review. She does give out good reviews to JJ's Auto Service Centre, but I think, look, I know you might think I'm being cynical, but I think a lot of this is to do with, I'd love to get a discount on my next thing, so I'm just going to say some nice stuff. Your techs always do a good job at pest control, so there might have been some rats in Crystal's gaff. Your techs always do a good job. The woman that came today was highly focused. Please tell her she's allowed to smile and be approachable. So not giving the compliments there, but also a little bit of spite in there as well. The rest of the texts always are. Maybe she's new and nervous, no? She did a great job, though. So Crystal can't leave a good comment without dealing some sort of backhanded blow. And it was another, a member of staff who'll probably get a fucking chatting to now by the boss. Oh, were you at the house the other day? Oh, yeah. No, it's not a problem with the work. Just, maybe you can smile a bit, or you can, maybe they just did a good job. Like, why would you want to fucking, why would you be fucking bothered whether or not, if they do the job, they do the job. If they don't do the job and then don't be turning on a smile or a howie or what's the story, then you'd probably be annoyed, and you'd add that as an additional fucking gripe on top of your base layer gripe, which was the job wasn't done properly. But this kind of person is the kind of person who'll give you 5 stars out of 5 and still find a fucking gripe to hit you with. Crazy bit of world business, Tom.
crazy bit of business altogether. But look, as I said earlier on, you will never, ever win with the general public, no matter what you do. That's why they say the customer is always right, because you will never win with the public. And you have to accept that. If you're in a forward-facing or a service or situation, you know, you need to be on your best behaviour. Car Cloud Group here, they became the victim of Crystal's wrath.
The Crystal Maze. Car Cloud Auto Group, non-responsive, purchased a vehicle there a few weeks ago. So there's money going around, there's money happening here with Crystal. She likes to spend. All kinds of lies and misrepresentations discovered after the fraudulent deal. No AC, no backup camera. The vehicle's lights go out sporadically if you drive. It really is, you've got a problem. And then look at this, man. It doesn't even fit on the screen. There's that much text. It just feels so powerless. You know, you read this and you feel that person has no control at the moment. No control. The control they have is they can write a message on a fucking keyboard, on a screen, on a phone. That's what they can do. But the rest of it is insane world going on. And you would really be worried for the people who are involved in the close, minutiae, day-to-day goings-on of this person's life. Because I'd say you'd be on tenterhooks, ready for the next bollocking. Warnings about the backlights and front lights randomly. Sunroof grunts. Did you not get in the fucking car when you were buying it? Get in the car and sit in the fucking thing and turn the engine on. Glue on the front dash where some gadget apparently used to be. And so many more jerry-rigged issues. Jerry-rigged. Jerry is involved in this. Whoever Jerry is. Jerry didn't even buy the car at Auto Group, at Car Cloud Auto Group. It was bought by a man named Crystal Ree. And they're in Lidl at the moment for filth crimes. I have other cars. Do you know what I mean? This is someone who has multiple fucking cars. This is someone who has multiple cars. Have you even heard of this? And they're writing about something online and writing paragraphs about it. Just bring the fucking thing back. If you have enough proof, bring it back. So don't drive this one much, except to make sure they sold me a decent car. They have not responded on any of these issues. I wonder why, Crystal. Seems like you're a fucking human bomb. So I believe they are a scammer company that needs to be avoided. If anyone has advice on who is a good attorney to deal with, VA Lemons, please advise. What the fuck does that mean? VA Lemons. Is that the name of an attorney? Like one of these celebrity car-based attorneys in the States that has adverts like fucking Better Call Saul. You have an auto problem? Call VA Lemons on 555 Lemons. Because remember, when life gives you lemons, call VA. Vermont State. Okay, so I thought we were in fucking New Jersey, no? Why is this Vermont? Is that nearby? Would she go to fucking Vermont? Which is further up the map, no? Who fucking knows? Virginia, okay. Yeah. That's close, isn't it? Virginia is close. It's all very close there. Nobody answers Crystal's calls, and that's fine with me. That's fine with me. Sakura Japanese Steak and Seafood House, 3 out of 5. What was the fucking problem here? Dine-in, no, there's no mention. There's no mention, just 3 out of 5. Brandywine Auto Parts. I don't think this is a lady. I think maybe they've gone for a lady picture and a lady name in order to curry favor with the business owners when they're doing their complaining. I think maybe ladies might have a little bit more gas in the tank when it comes to seeking justice for vendettas. Especially in an online forum where you're writing messages and shit like that, you know, messages, long, endless fucking argument threads.
Thank you.
Vladimir Lemons, thank you very much there for the tip. Charles County Plaza, hard to get into and out since the parking is a maze. Baby, I'm amazed by you. Thank you very much, Ms. Lara Croft. Thank you very much, Ryan McDyer. Crystal Maze. Charles County Plaza Shopping Center. Crystal thought this place was a fucking maze. Bath and Body Works, but some of the places are fucking women-y places, aren't they? Women-y snicket. So I don't think it's a fella, but it's a woman who's heavily invested in, has multiple cars and is getting car parts as well. Usually the preserve of, you know, grease monkeys, fellas in overalls and stuff like that. Not saying ladies can't do it. It's not like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just trying to guess the fucking profile here. This is like we're the FBI. We're looking at a profile not of a serial killer, but of a serial sourpuss who likes to spew wretched type filth all over the internet when they don't get a good deal. Bath and Body Works, Walmart, McDonald's. How depressing, man. You're actually reviewing McDonald's. Davis Nails. Okay, so we think it's a woman. We think this is a woman. 2 out of 5. Aldi, filthiest place in Waldorf. This is the classic Aldi. I'm still enjoying this Aldi. What would you call it? Fucking diatribe vendetta. Eating my cheese sandwich. Taking a sip of lovely rock shandy. It really is new entertainment. They're providing entertainment for us via the medium of complaints. Lorenzo Di Medici, how are you? Thank you very much there for the tip. Lemons in US slang is the US slang for bangers. Banger cars. Okay, maybe we have that over here as well. I don't know. How beautiful. The Red Lobster, ladies and gentlemen. 1 out of 5. I bet you it's pricey because it's lobster, isn't it? 1 out of 5. Nothing said though, but a great response from the owner. Telling him to come back on a private message. I feel so sorry for business owners nowadays, and this is what they have to deal with. The double-edged sword of brand and shop visibility and awareness by being listed on Google, but then the floodgates to a vast, endless army of knobheads who will not let you rest. And now more of your time will have to be divided between doing the actual work and then satiating the seemingly unending desires of wretched individuals with more time on their hands than necessary and having to converse with them and pretend at the time like you want to do it as well. Couldn't imagine anything worse. There's real hardworking people who don't deserve to have to deal with this. So, I mean, then what? They're going to have to spend more money. They've already got a struggle going on, yeah? Fucking prices of property and spaces alone, it's through the roof. And now you've got an army of people who will be listed underneath your listing. And then people are going to see the fucking thing. Tom.
You're having a bit of trouble there with your words.
I have a bit indeed, yeah. Between listening and listening. And
yeah, you still couldn't say it properly there.
Listing.
Not too bad. But that's why I'd be against any of this newfangled, modern day, latter day Google review sort of stuff, because yeah, they're giving you a leg up, but at what cost? It opens it up, and maybe AI will help people in this scenario. You know, I don't really like the way AI is going, but for a scenario like this, it would be brilliant to have to deal with some of the lemons.
some of the lemons is right. In a way, though, then, if you are a shitbiz and you've gone all out and listed on Google, then you probably need to be aware that this is going to happen. But you get some real wingnuts, don't you? All it takes is one day where one member of staff or one thing has been out of place. And if the baseline experience hasn't been enough, then you're fucked. And as we can see, people who even have had a great customer experience with the business, the service they provided was above board and more than that, possibly, still feel the need to chip in with their 2 cents regarding what could be done differently. Look, it's America, but I've seen this shit happen. It happens here as well. You know, obviously they take service and consumer behavior. It's an important business, a way of life. They made the fucking way of life. They created it. So I mean, you can imagine that's the way it is over here. A brand new crab spot, Diamond Crab, and everything is fucking brilliant here. I'll definitely be back, and it seems like brilliant is the main byword for this review. They're a brand new crab spot. I've only been open for 7 days. I went earlier. I'm going light on them reservice. They were truly short. Diamond. Fucking hell. Diamond. Is her name Diamond again? Oh, it's Crystal. Getting mixed up here. So I'm going light on them regarding service. They were truly short-staffed and unprepared for the number of customers that showed up that day. That being said, the food was outstanding. Everything I do, and I mean everything that we ordered, was delicious. We had crab's legs, we had jumbo shrimp, mussels, fried crab balls, corn on the cob, broccoli, potatoes, boiled eggs. Fucking stinker there, gaff, after that. Fried French fries, sweet potato fries, fried oysters, and Lord knows what else. Everybody left stuffed and pleased. Such absolute fucking just food was good, service not good, but I'll go light. Food amazing, more food please. Rah, rah, rah. Crab balls, blah. French fries, blah. Broccoli, sweet potato fries, blah. More fries than you can handle. And then spewing their vile, putrid thoughts onto the internet via a fucking cheap smartphone, probably made in China. Nothing against the Chinese. I'm just trying to break it down so we can viscerally try and imagine what was going on here. Their fingers still greasy from all the fries grease and egg and fish. They were hoping for something that they could get off the next visit. We had 16 to 20 in our party, so this is a big, big socialite. 3 or 4 people were not allowed to order and had to not eat to avoid being charged the 40 quid. Aside from that, and judging on the food only, the place is highly recommended. The staff, extremely welcoming and pleasant. Strange that you say that after you fucking had to go at the top. Going light on them reservice. They were truly short. Okay. Short-staffed. Nothing personal there. One of the people at our table was a complainer type. I wonder who the fuck that was. Crystal. I wonder who that was. You're not that's definitely not you. One of the people at our table was a complainer type, but in the end, she came around and said it was good. It was very good food and our experience was great. That's just you, Crystal. You're just patting yourself on the fucking back after writing what you've done. And the response, beautiful. I love to see 3 or 4 paragraphs from Crystal and then fucking bare minimum 2 sentences from the owner. Thanks so much for your great review, you fucking mentler. We've read the rest of your reviews. Please stay away from us. Thank you so much for your great review, Crystal. We look forward to serving you again in the near future. Back out of that. I just love the names of some of the Jackson's Mighty Fine Food and Lucky Lounge. Business, what would you call these? She's active. This Klim is active in the Philadelphia, Maryland, Virginia, Eastern Seaboard area. You need an APB for Crystal Ree, because she is going to fucking slash your business via the medium of reviews if you don't do what it is that she wants and needs doing. A bit pricey, customer service excellent. They used to offer clients water. Used to give us water, tea, juice, soda, or wine. Now you don't do that. That made for a more luxurious experience. She wants luxury. They should bring that back now COVID restrictions have been lifted. Hi, Crystal. Thanks for your review. And yes, we still have those services. Just ask next time, yeah? Thanks so much and have a wonderful night. Crystal wants it given to her. She doesn't want to have to ask. That's not part of the equation. She wants to feel luxury. Milk and Honey, Southern Inspired Kitchen. Second time visiting. First time was great. Second time I had to wonder what happened. Server was super great, knowledgeable and friendly, but the food and menu setup was underwhelming. But again, our server was top notch, and I hope he shared our feedback with management. We would love to see continued success at this black-owned restaurant. The art gallery is a bonus treat for the community as well. Now, for some constructive criticism. The jerk wings, and that's a fucking food type. I've had jerk chicken. It's nice. Jerk, it's spicy stuff. Is it Caribbean? I think it is. But it sounds like when she's about to go off on one that she's calling someone a jerk. The jerk wings are tasty. But she doesn't even spell it right. They're quite tasty. What, did they give you a bit of a zap? Was it electrifying taste, was it? The jerk wings are a bit tasty, but served wet style in a bowl filled with jerk broth with no rice or potatoes or anything to absorb the broth. Not even a biscuit or crusted bread to sop it up was served. This is crazy weird and cheapens the experience. Also, normally crab eggs Benedict is stacked so that every slice includes each ingredient. Not here. The crab eggs Benedict was served spread sloppily, overlapping. It's like a fucking Yeats poem. The alliteration, the onomatopoeic sort of fucking enunciation of the way this stuff is. I mean, you gotta hand it to her. She really does put effort into these diatribes. What the fuck else does she be at? A giant scoop of Creole sauce that left the English muffin inedible and the egg difficult to find. The crab cake was bready and thin. It was overly salty, hiding all the other flavors. All the other flavors, where are you? You're hiding. I can't find you. Lastly, the prices of this restaurant would be reasonable if they did things in line with tradition. Like, 1, provide bread or chips whilst guests await their meals. And 2, serve all entries, not entrees, you've spelt it the English, entries, with suitable sides instead of a la carte only. Never seen it spelt like that. You're really showing the lack of class by spelling a la carte as in one fucking word. It's not even a real word. Even autocorrect would have told you that, but you ignored it because you were so angry. And then you wrote entries. Serve all entries a la carte only. I will visit again. I'm sure they can't wait to see you. But I'm going to stop recommending, okay? Is that okay with you? I'll come again, but I think I'm going to stop recommending to friends and family until they up their game. So you're writing this, it's real side-eye, fucking cowardly shite, this Google review business. I will visit again, but she's talking as if she's talking to an audience of fans and upvotes and likes and shares, and like an audience. Let's face it. I can see the irony of what I'm saying here. I am her audience. I'm enjoying this stuff. But I'm going to stop recommending to my friends and family until they up their game. Like, you've just wrote this about them and you've not fucking started off by writing to them. No? Second time, first time, what will you say? Have you openly addressed them? Have you said thank you? Did you even say thank you once? JD Van style. Have you even said thank you about this? Thank God for the response from the owner, the class, the gravitas of the owner. Crystal, thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. We're sorry we failed to meet your expectations. We'd appreciate another chance to earn your business. Please, Crystal. We just want your sweet, sweet business, Crystal. Please email us at mhcares@thompsonhospitality.com so that someone from our management team can speak to you directly. Crazy, 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 crazy world we're living in here. I mean, do I go back to the Computer Chronicles? I know this is very low entertainment value. Apologies there. But I'm enjoying it here. I'm enjoying this. There's not much going on. Maybe a bit of Chronicles. And then, you know, what we'll do is buzz off a reference made in the Chronicles, some real business, and then we end up finding another fucking lunatic who spends all their days shouting out businesses who have not met their expectations. As someone who is yet to ever leave any sort of fucking public review about anything, it's just it's so bizarre to me, this behavior. And I think, thank you very much, Reign of Terror, very, very kind of you there for the tip. Has Crystal's Reign of Terror ventured outside the US at all? Perhaps she slammed the flavor of some escargot in Paris. We'll have to have a look. The good thing about this is it gives you a location. You can, you know, if you can basically see where this person is, you know, they're publicly putting it all out there. I remember thank you very much, Crystal the Slasher, for the tip. They're very, very kind of you. Wasn't one of the fucking Kinahans tracked down via internet sleuths because they'd started a fucking Google review account? And then it was showing you like all over the usual points of interest, like Dubai, you know, South Spain, all sorts going on. And even one of the photos that was made of a restaurant that had a review, like you could see the reflection of them in, you know, when you take a picture out of a window and you can see that was in it. So crazy, crazy world we're living in here, where this mindset that everyone has now, where they have to fucking spew their opinions about anything that has upset them. It's like, because maybe I grew up before this became prevalent, I could see how stupid it was. I'd never be arsed doing it. But now people are growing up like inside the eye of the tiger, where it's just like, oh, this is what you do. Oh, this is just must be what you have to do now. And Joey the Lips, thank you very, very much for the tip there. So then Google give you a fucking location ping on your reviews. You've got a litany of wretched views, also with a geo-located timestamp and graph. And no, they have not left that realm. They haven't gone global with it, which I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. You don't really want to start to give any sort of big movement picture to anybody out there. I just don't think it's a good idea, you know, from the off. But this person does. So, you know, they're also, again, as mentioned, hiding behind an anonymous setup. So that's them. They're able to spew their opinions, however good or bad they are, but knowing full well that they're safe and secure behind their the anonymous little burner account, or whatever it is. Coconuts, 5 stars. This is a great little run of high 5-star reviews. Nothing really bad to say about it at all. COVID hit Crystal hard. They do not clean their cars, but they claim they have COVID-19 precautions. I think after COVID, she starts getting fucking really mental. I think before COVID, it seems to be the case. Oh no, this is post-COVID. The Arby's in Maryland is great. Let's just see some shockers. Let's just see the shockers here. Nails and Spa. Worst pedicure ever. Feet look worse when Lisa finished than they did on arrival. They injured my dog permanently by cutting open a mole in the grooming salon and refused to take responsibility. There's not much else. I think that's it. I think she starts 8 years ago, all nicey pie, in Saks Restaurant and Lounge. That's where the photograph was from. And then 8 years, okay, 7 years, okay, 5 years. The incident with the dog, obviously, 5 years. That fucked everything up for her. And then it starts to go downhill after the dog. So we can trace the trauma of the dog thing as the origin of her gripes with major businesses. She doesn't like being on hold for 30 minutes. Wait for another couple of years, man. That 5-hour one sounds insane. Take it down. Arby's in Maryland is great. Let's get back and finish off that episode there of the Chronicles. Apologies.
Mega Wars that he stole a credit card number to be able to stay online all night and defend his solar system.
Stay online all night and defend your solar system with a stolen credit card. Read Georgia Brown's. What's Georgia Brown's? Was that a fucking review of something there, is it? What is Georgia Brown's? Is it a restaurant? Is it a fucking... Jerry Yums. Some of the names of these places. Jerry Yums. PetSmart. Harbour Marina. Lisa Nails and Spa. Georgia Brown's. We had a Hispanic overseer of the black waitress that was less than charming. The young black waitress was super accommodating and friendly. The shrimp po' boy was yummy, but needs more shrimp. Who was the shrimp po' boy? Is this a fucking Asian, like, fish restaurant and they have a boy come around to serve shrimp? The shrimp po' boy was yummy, but needs more shrimp. The Hispanic overseer of waitresses needs charm school lessons or respect black people lessons. Dear Crystal, thanks for your comment. You'll be happy to know that we have booked our overseer in for a month-long course of charm school lessons and, additional to that, 3 weeks of respect black people lessons. We hope this hasn't soured your opinion of Georgia Brown's, and we will see you again soon for some free shrimp po' boy. The overseer of a fucking... The overseer of a restaurant. I think the first problem there is that you have an overseer. You should have either a maitre d' or a waiter or a waitress. Obviously a fucking chef and a kitchen staff setup, but an overseer. Thank you very much, Schnuffles, for the tip there. I hope you're getting on well. Mega Wars. All right, just need to see what Mega Wars was like in 1985. Mega Wars 1985. Well, I mean, it's not that, but it looks fucking funny. That's a Masters of the Universe for He-Man figures, I think. Mega War video game. Mega Wars video game. What was that? Commodore game.
I'll have a message which I can update very quickly.
No, that's too good. The
Doing
graphics look too good for 1985. CompuServe thing. Fuck it.
He may have won the interstellar war, but he lost the legal battle and faces a 5-year prison term and a $250,000 fine. Not too logical. That's it for this week's Computer Chronicles. See you again next week.
The Computer Chronicles was brought to you in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Popular Computing magazine, featuring microcomputer applications that increase productivity for managers and professionals.
Wow.
Professional.
George Morrow's haunting image there. Last thing you see before you go to sleep at night. The first thing you see when you start to dream. George Morrow. Digital George. Ray Manlove is after you. A great name. I wonder would he have got some stick in school for that. Yeah, Manlove. Who were you loving yesterday? A man, was it? There'll be a lot of that going on. Real playground sort of bullying behavior, you know. And then you get names that wouldn't probably raise an eyebrow in the States. Randy Miller. Randy Miller and John Rex.
Nintendo Game Boy.
Nintendo Game Boy. Thank you very much, sir. Kim Philby's Kettle. Very, very kind of you there. Nathan Callahan. What the fuck is this Super Bowl Pacific data? We were watching the Super Bowl. It's been a few weeks since the last Computer Chronicles installation. What a great show. And we need to consult our Computer Chronicles compendium. The only thing is, I don't have access to the Chrons Tracker 5000. How do I get this fucking thing? Oh, yeah. I'm wondering how...
Twisted!
This...
I'm Stuart Chaffee.
Twisted!
I'm Stuart Chaffee.
Is this updated by your man, Sam, who made it? Because I don't have the access to it. But I do have the access to Viper Chronicles. And that was 1985 computer graphics that we just watched. Or 1984. Go out of that. Season 2. Low-end Japanese computer graphics, 1985. Watched. You can click that as watched. And that's it. That's done. We now know that will have been recorded, and we'll never accidentally watch something we haven't seen before. Dara Darmody. Don't forget the search bar. So I just search them like this. This is next. How's it going there? It's the wrong button there. Thank you.
I'm the Lord of Tea and Toast.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I have C. Maybe that's for Connor. I was typing Chronicles for Computer Chronicles, but for some reason, C hotkeys into fucking Connor Williams. This is live, yeah, Gary. This is live, and we do have him on the other end of the line there at all times, ready to go.
I'm just fine and dandy.
I'm just fine and dandy.
I'm okay.
I think he falls on his arse after that. Varney Teabag, thank you very much there for the tip. Can't beat the cold rock shandy. So, let's just say G. Oh no, that's hotkeying as well.
The fuck is going on? You're on my line.
How is there hotkeys for what I'm doing here? Oh, I'm not using the keyboard yet. I get you. I see. Okay. Using the wrong fucking keyboard there. What was it? Computer graphics. So if I just write graphics, I didn't even know I had hotkeys for the fucking the streaming software. I didn't know that even was a thing. I mean, I knew you could do it, but I didn't know they were enabled automatically like that. Computer graphics. So that's great. We can cycle through a few different computer graphics episodes here, and that's some great stuff there. What Dara has done. Change the game, so to speak. 3D graphics. Have we seen that? It's got ants in it. I think we have. Yeah, it's watched. It's watched. What I like about this is the extensive thumbnail compendium. I think it's going to be a Netcafe end. Just updating as I go, says Sam. Thanks very much for the tip there. There's a search bar on the Chrons Tracker 5002. Oh, the fucking is. Look at this. Show watched only as well. Completed. Tick equals completed. Egg timer is partial. Then you've got search. All in that traditional Windows 95, 98 graphical user interface. You just type in games. And then look. Computer games. 1984, 1985. There's computer games for every year nearly. That would have been a banker episode where Stu would have said, all right, and then we've got a computer games for that year. But it does kind of stop, though, in the 90s, early 90s. Then it picks up again in the mid to late 90s. Online games, 98. That's going to be a sizzler. That is going to be a sizzler. Fucking hell, you haven't watched it as well. It's just one of those things, though. It's like, do you want to watch that? A 1998 episode called Online Games. Or do you want to save that in the bag? Do you know? I don't know. I really don't know. Music. MIDI music. Interactive music. Music on PC. Maybe a Netcafe to finish off here. I know it's been how long has it been? 2.5. Let's just get a Netcafe on.
Twisted.
And see what's going on with that. Women on the web. Games. Fucking brilliant, man. The link is here and everything. Obviously, that's there in Dara's world as well. I'm just going to refer to this as Dara's world. And then the thumbnails are there. On the Chrons tracker, you can see all the fucking thumbnails. Gives you the whole episode. It's just a thing. There are two different things of beauty. The complete quake. Ah, yeah, well, this is it. This is what we're watching. Is that fucking... Thought that was Broken Sword. Possibly. Let's have a little look here and see what we've got going on. YouTube, games. Audio is great as well. I can hear it very clearly. I think it's a great rip. It's a great encode. Brilliant stuff. And look at that filter. High, what was that? Posterity? High posterity maybe on the shots of San Francisco. I'd love to make my own version of this. I've said it before, and I've only said it to one person because I didn't want to be promising anything too amazing. But I feel as though if I am to really take this seriously now, then I have to say it, because then the pressure will be on to do it. That I've been thinking about changing this room into either one of either a Computer Chronicles room, either the studio of Computer Chronicles or a supermarket. That it looks like you're in a fucking supermarket. So it'll have shelves with some items on it. Cereals, minerals, tins, and call it Higgins Stores inside this. So no more, get rid of the fucking green. Well, have the green screen there for any, you know, for the green screens, but like change it to a supermarket. Just a room, just a snapshot, or even a corner shop or a mini mart. Or the alternative is to create a Computer Chronicles room where it's got very vivid 90s color palette, desk and everything like that. But I wouldn't really then, I'd have to dress as Stu the whole time. But I don't know whether or not that could be a good thing. I'm not sure. See if it is, yeah, complaints desk. See, this is already getting the ideas flowing, but even just by saying this, it's, you know, a complaints desk would be great to be able to deal with anything, you know, head on as well, and have that as a real one-to-one moment. Rashers $2.99, hopes and dreams dashed, that kind of thing as well, you know. But I wonder, would it get old after a while? But it probably wouldn't. It would just become a thing, and then no one would question it anymore. Yeah, I know a lad who's handy with like set design, carpentry, and stuff like that. And I wonder, would it be worth just like really going all out on it and getting this little shop up and running, or finding an already existing but vacant shop in Mayo somewhere, they are out there, and trying to get some sort of deal together. But then at the end of the day, it's like, then what? Are you going to make that a fucking base and just do it from there the whole time? I don't think so. I like the idea of it being very close. So the idea to do it is there, or the want and need to do it is there, and then you just get away straight on it. Having another location to have to go to. But then I would be in the situation where a room, like where my actual room is a joke, like it's not like somewhere you'd live, you know, it's like a supermarket fucking shop then. So it'd be really living in the joke, even after the stream had gone on. And there might be some depressing moments in that. I haven't really thought that far ahead. But anyway, let's just see how we get on here.
Tonight at the Internet Cafe, games on the net. Meet game guru George Jones for a guide to great gaming sites.
Have we not seen George Jones before? We haven't.
Here's a game with an attitude, full throttle, and its mild-mannered designer, Tim
He had to put in that he was mild-mannered.
Schaefer. The Total Entertainment Network gets a 10 for letting you go online and play other gamers around the world. And MUDs gain a new dimension, cool graphics, thanks to Mike Sellers and Meridian 59. Plus free software Blackjack, Tetris with
Meridian 59.
Triangles, Home Stretch, and Virtual Pool, all coming your way in our Cyberblast. Games on the net tonight at the Internet Cafe.
Look at that. I remember that. Downhill fucking skiing. Yeah, to have good lower body dexterity, to be able to
your way in our
swing those hips
games on the
and
net.
legs. It really was the stupidest looking arcade game there was, I think, I have ever seen.
Tonight at the Internet Cafe.
The Internet Cafe is made possible in part by Intel.
I could be wrong here. Nice little hot rod there. But I think all this shit started with the motorbikes, possibly. Manx TT motorbike, maybe something different in the States. Once they saw how entertaining that would be to get on a fucking pretend motorbike and drive around the Laxey coast at speed, then you had all sorts of fucking weird stuff. Maybe it was just all normal in Japan. Maybe in Japan. That's probably Wave Racer, actually. That's probably you're on a jet ski. And as for this one here, I don't know what she's at. She had to be inside a kind of a rubbery grip. Thank you. In order not to fall and damage herself. Des, thanks very much for the tip there. Up Leitrim, you say.
Cafe. The Internet Cafe is made possible in part by Intel. One innovative idea always leads to another. Now there are connected CD-ROMs that link rich multimedia with related information on the Internet. For connected CD-ROMs, it's the Intel Pentium processor.
Do. Apparently Intel are fucking going bust now as well. They're cutting staff down in Dublin.
Pentium processor.
Apparently Intel have fallen behind the wayside. This new fast-paced techno world we're living in. It's nothing new about it. They're getting taken over. Intel. You've got Apple's M3 chip now. Probably M4. They don't need Intel's help anymore. AMD are meant to be better than Intel now. I don't know. I've got a Pentium in my machine here. I'm a Windows kind of guy. I've just always felt like Pentium just felt real. Felt like the real deal. But what else? Nvidia. I don't even know if they make core. They don't make computer fucking chips, do they? They make graphic units. But isn't a graphic card just a load of fucking computer chips in doing something different? I don't know. Makes you wonder why they don't make computer chips if they make things that are so powerful that you can mine fucking fake cryptocurrencies and shit in it.
Welcome to the Internet Cafe.
Love that. You can even hear Jane Wither speaking. And what we see there is Stu really ignoring for the camera. And also we get to rewind it 3 or 4 more times, hearing the Pentium sound. Listen to this.
Welcome to the Internet Cafe. I'm
Lovely ignorance.
Stuart Chaffee. We're so busy talking.
It's not, it's scripted. So busy talking.
You're Jane Wither. Welcome to the Internet Cafe. I'm Stuart Chaffee. We're so busy talking. Welcome to the Internet Cafe. I'm Stuart Chaffee. We're so...
Sorry, I like hearing that. Do. Really was a great little tune signature for the brand, because it just worked.
Welcome.
It's up there with the known and ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it, even though I didn't like that. It still worked.
Welcome to the Internet.
And even before then, what was it? Always Coca-Cola. The sun will always shine. The stars will always shine. The sun will always burn. But whenever there is Coke, there's always the real thing. Coca-Cola is always the one. Whenever there is fun, there's always Coca-Cola or something like that.
Internet Cafe. I'm Stuart Chaffee. We're so busy talking. You're Jane Wither and Andrew DeVries, and we're talking about games tonight.
It's a shame, actually. I can hear the audio, but it does sound like it's coming from a fucking wind tunnel. And also, strange cameo from Jerry Adams in the background there, who was doing a little bit of computering out there in Silicon Valley. Or was he a part of some sort of computer-based choir? If you look at these 4 here, it looks like they're singing an ode to computer disks, CD-ROMs, processors and the like. Doesn't it look like they're singing? I don't know if they are or what. And apologies for the audio, even though I can hear it.
We're so busy talking. You're Jane Wither and Andrew DeVries, and we're talking about games tonight.
Is this Cybersmith? Cybersmith Cafe had a little games arcade section in it.
And talking. Welcome to the Internet Cafe. I'm Stuart Chaffee. We're so busy talking. You're Jane Wither and Andrew DeVries, and we're talking about games tonight. And I must admit, I'm a gamer, but do you like games? Computer games, net games?
I like games, but not...
Do you like games, computer games, net games? And look at the angles, the oblique strategies of the cameraman. Also, Stuart DeVries, he's moving from side to side. He's got a little bit of pitch and yaw and roll. The cameraman definitely has that 90s MTV energy as well.
Not all games. It's hard for me to relate.
Nobody likes all games.
I can't be a super games. I like games.
And it is Cybersmith.
But not all games.
It is Cybersmith because only in Cybersmith do you have these members of staff that are going around helping people with their tech, and they're called
Nobody likes all games.
cyber guides. They have people called cyber guides going around. A piece of meat! Thank you very much, Owen, for the piece of meat. You only get that in Cybersmith. Sadly, no longer with the Cybersmith. Nobody goes to internet cafes anymore. I was in Galway yesterday looking for the old internet cafe of the days of long gone, and it's not even there. Well, it's changed. I think it's a music shop now. But, you know, crazy times. Crazy, crazy times.
About games tonight, and I must admit I'm a gamer, but do you like games, computer games, net games?
I like games, but not all games. It's hard for me to relate.
Nobody likes all games.
I can't be a Super Mario, okay? But I like the games where I can.
Have you done Nintendo 64 Super Mario?
Yeah, I admit I
Trust
haven't.
me, that is a great game.
Stuart Chaffee's mark of approval. N64 Super Mario.
The games where I can.
Have you done Nintendo 64 Super Mario?
Yeah, I admit I
Trust
haven't.
me, that
And
is
I
a
like
great
the way he calls it Mario, Super Mario, not Super Mario. Because when Stuart said the word salsa a few episodes ago, I think it was on Computer Chronicles, he said it like this. Salsa. 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 And it was really weird. Had to play that 50 times.
game. Okay.
I like the games that are a little more where I can go in and sort of live the character fantasy.
So you like the fantasy adventure?
It was slightly Japanistic.
Role-playing kind of thing?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a rock star, okay, more than anything. And there's a lot of games now where I can actually go be a rock star. I can produce music videos and things like that.
Stu seems like a Rainbow Six man, Parastrike. Why? Because there's a lot of what's that, like a team coordinator of a team? Maybe it's team based, or the kind of man who just likes to, you know, you're looking down and he likes to kind of get a sneak peek of the room first before going into it, and then going hard once he's in there as well. I don't know.
Or I could be in a biker gang, you know, Full Throttle by LucasArts.
With the true Andrew.
Andrew wants to be in a biker gang, ladies and gentlemen. Hard Andrew.
Or I could be in a biker gang, you know.
Come on, Andrew. You don't want to be in a biker
Full
gang.
Throttle by LucasArts.
With the true Andrew.
I want to be a biker, right? Exactly. So.
All right, Jane, you a gamer?
I wouldn't touch them for the world.
Twisted! I wonder if we get another Twisted-esque soundbite here. Keep an eye on Jerry Adams in the background here. In the four-man choir.
Is it because it's a guy thing or what?
It's not.
That's a great album cover there. Jerry and Kelly. Songs for San Mateo. Songs for Silicon Songs. We'll keep going.
It's not a guy thing. I just think, I don't know, I have this thought that if I'm going to download a game, it's going to blast my PC and I'll be, you know, trying to reconfigure it all night long.
Well, that happens.
Yeah, I know. Pico girl.
Fella doing the skiing in the background while she's talking about the downloading of the game.
I don't know, I have this thought that if I'm going to download a game, it's going to blast my PC and I'll be, you know, trying to reconfigure it all night long.
Well, that happens.
Yeah, I know. Pico.
All night long, all night long, all night, installing the game all night. Boo, boo, boo. Never too much, never too much.
Pico girl.
But I mean,
Trying to reconfigure it all night long.
well, that happens.
Yeah, I know. Pico girl.
But I mean, it happens. It's true. I mean, one of the things that's nice about the Sony PlayStations and the Segas is you buy the thing, it works, and you're done.
Plug and play, plug and play. With a PC, you gotta do this. You gotta buy your joystick, your control pad. You gotta install drivers. You gotta make sure the right software. It's a pain, it's a hassle, right? But it's great. You gotta make sure you got the right RAM. Just trying to think of what he's gonna say here.
The nice it happens.
Yeah, I know. Pico girl.
But I mean, it happens. It's true. I mean, one of the things that's nice about the Sony PlayStations and the Segas is you buy the thing, it works, and you're done. Where yeah, you buy a CD-ROM game and you start to configure, and you'll never be able to use your computer again after that. It often happens. I do like games, as I told you. I think they're really cool. I love playing those games, and I like games because they push hardware development.
I love games. They're really cool, and I like playing games
As I told you, I think they're really cool. I love playing those games, and I like games because they push hardware development, they push graphics, they push interfaces.
Games are cool.
Like better for technology. I mean, what does it take to do a spreadsheet, really?
So you're saying that in the future, games may actually be the forefront?
Everybody's talking about the metaphor for the internet and online shopping. Games, because of today's 8-year-olds.
I want to use a joystick to do my word.
A beautiful face transition from Stu. He's the only man in the business that does this. Look at the energy, with the transferal of energy from Stu's body language over to Jane. Like, you can almost see the happiness transfer from human to human when he makes that face. What do we see here? Watch Jane not smiling or happy. Wait till you see Stu at the end of this.
Games, because of today's 8-year-olds.
You watching?
I want to use it.
Boom, boom. And look at Jane. True love.
Joystick.
Like, nobody's doing it like this, man. Nobody is fucking doing it like him, and nobody has ever done it like him. He's the only man that has done it. And that's a scenario right there. Even that lady there in the background is like, did someone just fucking smile? Because his smile lights up the fucking room. And Jerry Adams has left. Don't think he was interested in it.
Saying that in the future, games may actually be the forefront.
Everybody's talking about the metaphor for the internet.
Everybody's talking at it.
And online shopping. Games, because of today's 8-year-olds.
I want to use a joystick to do my word processing.
Yeah, right. All right, we're going to look at games today at the internet.
Yeah, right.
Don't go away.
Is that a cheeky? I'm not trying to read too much smutty into this or anything like that, but was that a private sort of fucking joke about his joystick?
For the internet and online shopping. Games, because of today's 8-year-olds.
I want to use a joystick to do my word processing.
Yeah, right. All right, we're going to look at games
yeah, right.
today at the Internet Cafe. Don't go away.
So, George, I know you're from San Francisco. I know you're a guy who likes to ride his bike around the city and used to write for Computer Gaming World magazine. But what
I like to ride my bike fast.
makes you like an expert on games?
Great fucking head of hair on him. I'm sure we've seen this guy before.
Playing him forever, ever.
Forever.
Never.
How long is forever? How long have computer games been around? Not that long.
I've been playing them since I was about 10.
10?
VIC 20. Commodore 64. I mean, these are
You're
the
right, it
old
was
games.
forever.
Oh man, it was so long ago. But
So,
yeah,
and what are you doing now?
And look at his hair as well. It's very well sculpted. It's kind of an artificial point because it doesn't seem like it could be that pointy, that naturally. You know, you'd have to try and sculpt that.
well,
And then you got this bucking in the
Forever.
background, just watching. Just this fella here as well.
oh man, it was so long ago. But
So,
yeah,
and what are you doing now?
well, I'm senior editor at
No, I mean, what are you doing now, like tonight after this?
GameCenter.com, and we're. But
So,
yeah,
and what are you doing now?
well, I'm senior editor at GameCenter.com, and we're a thorough
Fright Night.
gaming magazine. We're doing reviews and we're doing strategies and we're doing everything.
Mummy, Shadow of the
Thorough.
What? Games that go bump in the night. You don't really hear people saying that shit anymore. Bump in the night. That used to be like a byword for, oh, it's going to be frightening. But now somebody said bump in the night. You're like, what? Go back to fucking 1956, man. What are you on about?
Gaming magazine. We're doing reviews.
Mummy, Tomb of the Pharaoh
and we're
reviews.
doing strategies, and we're doing everything on the web.
Spooky banter.
So you're like testing games.
Every secret, every level, every time. The complete guide to Quake by Shane Mooney.
Playing games, constantly
all up in it.
writing about things. So what is the kind of the hottest games right now?
The hottest one right now is Quake. It rocks.
Seen it?
The
Played
thing
it?
is sweet. You can download it for free on the internet.
Sweet.
Free.
Free.
How do they make money?
Well, they have to. id Software, who's the maker of the game, has it set up so that you play the game, you get hooked on it, and then all of a sudden you want more. So
So you have to go out and buy more. So it's a drug. It's like heroin.
It is like heroin, exactly. Look at this jumper on the fella in the background here. Just need to consider it. Just frame by frame, just casually saunters in. And I think the jumper has images of men fighting. Looks like a tapestry, sort of medieval tapestry. Bayeux tapestry or something.
Set up so that you
just breezes in and then walks out. Whereas this fella here is just languidly standing, his arm caressing the work surface there of a display unit.
Play the game, you get hooked on it, and then all of a sudden you want more. So
so you have to go out and buy more. So it's a drug. It's like heroin on the internet.
Well, you know.
Heroin on the internet.
I don't know if they'd appreciate that, but yeah. I mean, and the people are just as addicted to it, especially the internet stuff. Like
so what does it mean, an internet game?
Well, what it means is that there's a variety of Quake servers out there, and you log into a server, you jam out with 15 other guys or whatever, and some of them you know.
So you download the game,
right?
And then 15 people can get onto this game and play at the same time?
At any time, too.
Really?
You don't even know them.
So are people establishing relationships, or what's going on
That's
there?
the funny thing. That's what's happening.
Big relationships are being established. Real full-time relationships established over this game, Quake Online.
Striking thing is that the clans have arisen, or it's just like a group of guys that have gotten together. Maybe they're united by one thing or another, or whatever.
A clan. I'm part of a clan. People wanted to be part of a clan.
They get together and they play Quake. Their sole purpose is just to get on a server and stomp people.
So they're a team that's been together. They know each other's habits. They know things like that, and
they know how to.
They love each other.
And so they fight. They don't fight against each other. They fight together.
They do everything together
against other people.
Wow. How do they find other groups to go out and play like that?
How do they do this?
So organized?
Well, someone's running a page. Well, there's a couple of pages actually where you can just go in and check out all the different clans.
Wow.
See who's out
it's a
there.
little bit like a gang on the internet there.
I mean, yeah, it kind of is. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a.
That's not probably the right metaphor to use. But, so what are some other really cool games that are out there?
Bizarre stuff
One
there.
other cool game is
bizarre interaction.
So what are some other?
See who's out
a
there.
little bit like.
It's like a gang on the internet. It's probably not the right way to put it, right?
A gang on the internet there.
I mean, yeah.
This guy wants to be a biker in a biker gang. Have you seen what those fellas do? They'll kill people. He's got World of Warcraft, or Warcraft as it was known there. I don't know what this is. It looks like Alien, or it looks like a Tool CD.
Kind of is. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a.
That's not probably the right metaphor to use. But, so what are some other really cool games that are out there right now?
Well, one other cool game is Warcraft 2. This is a great game.
Now it sounds like kind of like a killer game, sort of like a Quake. Is it in that same kill Twitch game kind of genre?
It's not the same. It's a strategy game. You basically are developing cities and sending units out to kill each other.
Okay.
So,
but not.
Unbelievable scenes here on the boat. Lots of kind of, what do you say, like Viking-esque, but Oriental Viking-esque figures. And did he say this is Warcraft?
Not the same. It's a
sort of like a Quake.
Game is Warcraft 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great game.
Now it sounds like kind of like a killer game, sort of like a Quake. Is it in that same kill Twitch game kind of genre?
It's not the same. It's a strategy game. You basically are developing cities and sending units out to kill each other.
Okay.
So,
but not fighting so much as.
You're not fighting yourself. You're directing units. It's like war, basically. It's a real-time war strategy game.
Oh, okay.
So let me get this straight. Warcraft and World of Warcraft, are they different types of games, or are they both real-time strategy? RTS, as in like Command and Conquer, where you've got like a little fucking army of cunts, and then you're killing other armies in harmony. Armies in harmony in real time. The first few were real okay, but then World of Warcraft is you're just one character, and then it goes on forever.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What else is hot?
Oh, another Go game that I'm playing a lot right
Hot.
now is John Madden 97. It's a football game.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
This game is.
If you grew up in the Bay Area, you really gotta like John Madden.
Yeah. I mean, he brought the Raiders.
Right.
But it's a full-out football game. It's action, which is the best thing. No one's done action football well on the PC.
So what does that mean, action football?
That means I can be the quarterback and I can throw the ball, downfield, or I can be Marcus Allen.
So you get to pick.
Great graphics.
Right.
Who do you like to pick? Who's your favorite person?
I'm the Raiders, so I gotta. They're not that good right now. But,
and what position, or any position?
A quarterback, man. You gotta play quarterback.
Sure.
But the other good thing about this, what's happening with the sports games, is that you can take it to the internet. And this is what Microsoft's doing.
Just like Quake.
Right. Microsoft's doing that with their basketball game. And they have a 5-on-5 basketball game, full court basketball.
So multiplayers.
Multiplayer?
This was the off-brand basketball of the day, was it? NBA being NBA, like. This is something else. Full court press.
And they have a 5-on-5 basketball game, full court basketball.
So multiplayers.
Multiplayers.
People could be all across the country. Suddenly they're on a basketball team.
Right. That's the plan. That's the plan. It hasn't been implemented perfectly yet, but
Okay.
that's what's going to happen. And this is incredible. I mean, you could be the point guard. You know, I could be Shaquille O'Neal, and we could play on a team together, even if you live in New York City and I live in Los Angeles.
That's great. And I always wanted to be taller, too. So this is like the perfect
I always wanted to
thing.
be a point guard, so I could do that. And I always wanted to have a jump shot, so that's good, too.
That's great. So
Next.
there's a lot of sports games that are moving in that same direction?
I sure hope so. I think that people are getting the buzz. They know what's happening. I mean, I think sports games is probably one of the best possible applications for internet gaming.
For the multiplayer.
You can have a baseball team, 9 different guys. It might be boring when you're batting because there's nothing to do, but everyone plays a different position, and you all have your roles, and maybe you practice together. You know,
great.
It's pretty sweet.
Great.
Cool world.
Cool world.
Hey.
Great, cool, cool world. I think you might have said it's a great, cool world.
Played
This is an advert for, I don't know, a lady in a restaurant or something.
Great.
It's pretty sweet.
Sounds like a cool world.
Sounds like a cool world. Barney Teabag, thank you very much there. Curse of Monkey Island.
Hey, played Myst? Perhaps you've been frustrated in the library.
Is this like a manager of a restaurant who's being corralled into doing some sort of advert for Myst? And one of the staff waiters or employees just walks by languidly, again, I have to say it, but languidly in the background. Let's just see how this develops here.
Hey, played Myst? Perhaps you've been frustrated in the library.
Too fast. And there you go.
Hey, play.
It's a cool world. Great. It's a cool world. It's kind of up there with a good in a way, but not fully. It's not on that same wave. It's on the same wavelength, but not the same level. A good will always be a good. But great. It's a cool world is another interesting addition to the already amazing canon of stuff that has happened in this program. And being said, COD Gamer 24, thank you very much.
Played Myst? Perhaps you've been frustrated
Ever played Myst?
in the library. Don't get even, get pissed. Starring John
Unbelievable.
Goodman as King Mattress, creator Pete Bergman from Firesign Theater, in this fun-filled CD-ROM adventure. Hey, we got everything. We've got trailer trash. We've got New Jersey shoreline toxic waste. We got it all. And if you want to send a postcard, go to our website, piss.com, to send a postcard to someone over the internet.
Pissed.com.
Don't get even, get pissed. Starring John Fun for Trash. We've got New Jersey shoreline toxic waste. We got it all. And if you want to send a postcard, go to our website, piss.com, to send a postcard to someone over the internet.
And this is the dream of Andrew right here, Full Throttle Biker Gang. Very coincidental that he said that he wanted to be a biker when this was on this week. Was he lying? I think it was a pure out and out lie.
All right, Tim, this is Full Throttle, a game you designed. And first of all, just let's talk about the game. What do you do in Full Throttle? What kind of game is it?
You play a biker named Ben, and you take on his personality, and it's a graphic adventure where he's on the run for a crime he didn't commit, and the law's chasing him, and a murder happens, and the real killer is trying to find him, and there's a road trip, and
So it's role-playing, adventure, that kind of game?
And solving puzzles, and...
Okay. Anything unique or different? I mean, what was sort of groundbreaking?
Is this a good thing for kids to be playing, or is there a bad side to it? Do we have that?
Nintendo's Game Boy. handheld gaming devices. Breaking about what you did with Full Throttle.
What you do with Full Throttle. But he did say in the build-up to this fella that he was mild-mannered. Stuart made a point of saying that in his intro. So I wonder, was Stu let down by the lack of energy that your man brought to this? And he's said that. I'm not sure whether or not he was worried or not.
Anything unique or different? I mean, what was sort of groundbreaking about what you did with Full Throttle?
We were going for a much more cinematic look, even though it's animated. It's animated and more.
It's sort of the interactive movie, only animated.
Yeah, more of a. It's hard to find a metaphor for it because it's kind of
looks a bit
kind of a
YMCA
novel. It's like, is it a movie? No, because people experience it different than a movie. They don't sit down for 2 hours. They come home every night, maybe like a book. And
let's back up a minute. What are the different sort of genres? When you say I'm going to write a game, it can be this kind of game, or this kind of game, or this kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
For all games?
Yeah, I mean,
I do.
That's I don't know what that was. I mean, seriously lacking in any energy, but there was a moment there of miscommunication. Maybe both of them on different wavelengths.
For all games?
Yeah, I mean, there's different sort of genres. When you say I'm going to write a game, it can be this kind of game, or this kind of game, or this kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
For all games?
Yeah, I mean,
I do just graphic adventures, which are they're not action oriented, even though the plot and the story can be action.
So it's problem solving kind of stuff.
Yeah, exploratory and puzzle solving.
Is there, you guys who do games, I mean, is that sort of a weird culture? I mean, you sit up all night long and figure out how am I gonna screw up these kids next? I mean,
it's kind of strange because the kind of most people who work there are the kind of people who were doing that for fun, like at college,
and not getting paid for it,
and not getting paid for it. Now they're getting paid for it, and you know, computer programmers are different. Kind of, they're differently socialized than.
But I mean, are the game programmers different from everybody else?
Game programmers they're often just fanatical gamers.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll work all day and then they'll stay at the office to play games all night. And
is it competitive? I mean, you sit down and say, I'm going to do something nobody's ever done before, or somehow get some juice or some power coming out of this game that nobody's figured out how to do before.
Yeah, well, it's
what?
Was
he on about him as a game maker trying to get juice or power out of the game? Like, what is he on about? Is he just saying? Is what that meant? Was he meant to be asking, do you enjoy playing or making games? What does he mean about getting juice or power out of it?
I'm going to do something nobody's
play games all night, and
or is he on about playing games?
Is it competitive? I mean, you sit down and say, I'm going to do something nobody's ever done before, or somehow get some juice or some power coming out of this game that nobody's figured out how to do before.
Yeah, well, it's there's a drive to do something no one's seen before, you know, a new, you know, genre. We were trying to do a biker game.
Next up, my pick of the week. It's called the Game Juicer 2000. It's from a little company in San Mateo, and it's just, this was a sneaky way of getting in the name Game Juicer or Game Juice before he reveals a product that he's got a bit of a hand in making. I mean, maybe they were involved in a lot of the products that they were showing off in Computer Chronicles. I'm not sure.
Just because the games have been done before, it's either, you know, it's always science fiction or fantasy, medieval,
right,
and just no one had really touched fantasy, medieval.
Interlocking spurs there, were they?
Oh.
Yep, it's a classic. The interlocking spurs. We know this as primarily a Stuart peace gesture, but in times of anxiety can become a defensive mechanism, and I'm hoping that this fella on the receiving end doesn't feel too intimidated, because it really is quite a curveball to be made aware of, especially when the heat is on. Cameraman, a producer, a floor manager, and then this fella whips out one of geography's greatest phenomena, the interlocking stirs, as they're known in his realm. And look at that. You can almost hear a sort of lock of metal, you know, kind of a metallic sci-fi sound, but then going into heavy industrial doors closing as it happens. It's a crazy, crazy bit of business.
And just no one had really touched, you know, the Wild One or Easy Ride.
A shotgun clack. Engage airlock.
Or again, computers and Harleys, they go together more than people would think.
But I mean, apart from stories, in terms of like really,
He's gonna do an orb. He's gonna do an orb or a claw.
At least they go together more than people would think.
but I mean, apart from stories, in terms of like really pushing the envelope, when you're working on a new game.
Yeah, there was an orb and a claw, and then a fast little, real micro orb, straight into this open palmed, sort of empathetic move, empathetic emote. But that was the miniature orb. Just there. Then he's holding the orb out front like that.
You're working on a new game right now. I mean, what is it you're trying to do?
The Clorb.
Better graphics, better sound, better interface. What's the sort of holy grail of gamers?
So this is what Stu is just expanding on what I was so confused about when he first asked the man, do you want to get a bit of juice out of the game? I found it hard to really understand what he meant by that. But now I can see that he's just clarifying, what are you going to do that's the next best thing as a game maker? What's the next best thing you're trying to do?
When you're working on a new game right now, I mean, what is it you're trying to do? Better graphics, better sound, better interface. What's the sort of holy grail of gamers?
Well, all of that. I mean, it starts off with like one of the first adventure games, like Zork, where it's all treasure hunting, and you don't have a character. But each game that's gone by.
Thanks, COD Gamer. I'm not sure. I can't remember whether or not I said thank you for the tip. Very kindly there. And Varney Teabag and Owen Morg. Thank you very much. And Dez.
Has had more story.
And Chips. Thank you very much, Chips. Could you move your head to the left of the screen? The YouTube live chat is on here. Okay.
More story elements and more character depth. And the last game that we had done, Day of the Tentacle, that I had worked on, it had a basic plot that kind of shows up in the beginning and shows up periodically and then comes up in the end. But every game we try to do more and more just a real story, a complicated story with real human involvement, and the new game I'm working on now, I try to do
the heavy moment there where Stu would probably, he likes the interviews to go a little bit faster, I think he might have become uncomfortable at that moment, especially 1996. You know how he was in 96 on the Chronicles. Like, he must think this is too slow. He knows, he can feel it.
Last game that we had done, Day of the Tentacle, that I had worked on, it had a basic plot that kind of shows up in the beginning.
Was it called Day of the Tentacle?
More story elements and more character, but each game that's gone by has had more story elements and more character depth. And the last game that we had done, Day of the Tentacle.
Day of the Tentacle.
Roam about a virtual environment with your avatar.
That I had worked
with your tentacle
on. It had a basic plot that kind of shows up in the beginning and shows up periodically and then comes up in the end. But every game we try to do more and more just a real story, a complicated story with real human involvement, and
a lot of love for David Tentacle, an unbelievable game.
And the new game.
This is a moment here. We looked at it before, but it's just interesting to see it again. I wondered was that a push-in from or a cut from your man's face, because it's very heavy to go in from and wide of Stu into that. Let's see.
And
well, even just a cut there it accentuates the not the anxiety, the air of anxiety, or it accentuates the uncomfortability or the awkwardness, I imagine. Cutting there. Should have just stayed on him, maybe.
We try to do more and more just a real story, a complicated story with real human involvement, and the new game I'm working on now, I try to do a story with just many more characters and that spans a long period of time for the characters' lives.
Well, I mean, what makes a game a success? I mean, Myst was a big hit, but yet that was sort of...
So Stu's asking him pretty much the same question 3 times over. He's asking what makes a good success. What is it you want to do that makes the game big? I think maybe our man isn't giving him the answer.
a weird game in a way, really.
Now he's talking about weird games.
And that spans a long period of time for the characters' lives.
Well, I mean, what makes a game a success? I mean, Myst was a big hit, but yet that was sort of a weird game in a way, really.
What makes a game
I mean,
a success?
you have a sense of what the guys want to do who play these things.
Yeah, we were the theory of full throttle.
Did you have an idea of what the guys who want to do who play these things? It's funny interview. It's surprisingly confusing stuff from Stu, but I've always wondered whether or not when it did come to the games, was he really into the games? I think he said he was into the games, but I don't know. And then it's these questions here, but is your man being dry though? You get a lot of people they're good at promoting. Maybe gamers, people who make the games shouldn't really be promoting. You should have promotions people to do that stuff. But I don't know whether or not Stu might be pretending to be as into the games, and then that's leading the interview to be a little bit softer than his usual, hustling and harried self.
For the characters' lives.
Well, I mean, what makes a game a success? I mean, Myst was a big hit, but yet that was sort of a weird game in a way, really.
What makes a game
I mean,
a success?
you have a sense of what
He did say he liked lemmings back in the day. So I mean, he likes lemons, like. That's all we know. And then he said Mario, not Mario, at the beginning of this one. And when he's had Tomb Raider on, he said it's a cool new game. But he does seem to describe a lot of the games as the cool new game. It's really cool. Maybe he over-eggs the cool pudding in a way, and then I'm kind of thinking maybe he wasn't, but he's just been a good all-round showman and presenter to keep the show going, even if there's some interest he really isn't fully arsed about, makes up for it with all the other stuff.
Guys want to do play these things?
Yeah, we were
the guys who want to do. Have you any idea about what the guys want to do who play these things? That was where this interview peaked for weirdness, and it isn't even over yet.
What makes a game
I mean,
a success?
you have a sense of what the guys want to do who play these things.
Yeah, we were the theory of Full Throttle was that people had played games where they played sort of a meek character, like
okay, and here you're a macho guy.
We're like, well, most people who use computers, maybe they would actually like to have, it is kind of a
Kick
fantasy
some
environment.
butt.
Yeah, do something they can't do in real life, right? Motorcycle off a cliff, jump a flaming, bus, just.
All right, well, I'm gonna try to do this now. So you're gonna help me. I got the guy here, right? So you can figure out how to do this.
And that's it. Was there no official ending to that interview? Usually there's a warm, friendly exchange between Stu and the guest, but what went on there?
I got the guy here, right? So
bus, just.
All right, well, I'm gonna try to do this now. So you're gonna help me.
So is he pretending he's playing it?
The guy here.
No way is Stu pretending he's playing this clip that they've cut to, because this isn't a feed from his monitor. We didn't even see Stu have a monitor. Maybe they're just playing it, and then Stu's saying to him, guide me through it here as I play, but I hope he doesn't think that he's fooling the viewers here, because I don't think you're playing this live, Stu.
Yeah.
As good as you are.
Something they can't do in real life, right? Motorcycle off a cliff, jump a flaming, bus, just.
All right, well, I'm gonna try to do this now. So you're gonna help me. I got the guy here, right? So you can figure out how to do this.
What? Oh, that's the ending. That's the ending. So they just put that in and say, okay, I'm gonna do this now, you help me. And then your man didn't even say anything. And then they just cut out of the thing. That was a real weird one. Usually we see at least both guest parties leaving on good terms with a nod and a thank you and we'll see you. But that was I wonder, and then Shu saying that about mild-mannered in the intro again. Something was off about that. I've never heard him say like something like that about a guest, you know?
Games on the net. Meet game guru George Jones for a guide to great gaming sites. Here's a game with an attitude, full throttle, and its mild-mannered designer, Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer, mild-mannered designer.
Hard time because
character depth, and the last game that we had done, Day of the Tentacle, that I had worked on, it had a basic plot that kind of shows up in the beginning and shows up periodically, and then comes up in the end. But every game we try to do more and more just a real story, a complicated story with real human involvement, and the new game I'm working on now, I try to do a story with just many more characters, and that spans a long period of time for the.
Chris, as the editorial director of
Bizarre energy out of the back of that interview. It was a strange one. Never seen Stu not say goodbye to a guest.
and File Factory,
Something's off about this one.
I know that you know a lot about online gaming, and I've got to tell you, all night I've been given a hard time because I don't play the games. I don't play, you know,
She's got like a fucking Fisher Price keyboard collection set.
Doom or anything like that. So I'm hoping that you can fill me in on all of the little jargon so that at the end of the night I can say, I know what I'm talking about. So a couple of questions. First,
What did they cut out? They didn't leave it in. Imagine getting an unedited reel from a show. What was this? Are you talking about this one? She was quite extroverted, probably had some trouble trying to put over an awkward nerd like that. I don't know what the situation was. I think he couldn't really, wholeheartedly say goodbye and thank you very much and good luck. I don't know why they wouldn't. Maybe he thought the graphics of the game was more exciting than the interview.
at the end of the night I can say, I know what I'm talking about. So a couple of questions. First of all, File Factory seems kind of interesting to me in that you can upload and download games. So what kind of games and how does that all work?
Right. Well, basically we try to cover it all. We give you demos of retail games, shareware games, freeware games.
It's an intense
Got a
beard
section
and
called
head
Homebrew
combination
where
pack.
We collect together all the different add-on programs and user-created maps that people create for games.
Oh, really? So they take an existing game and start making additions to it
Yes.
so it actually starts to evolve and change?
Right. Like
Oh,
some
that's
games
kinda neat.
like Duke Nukem, they provided an editor with the game, so you can actually go in and create 3D worlds
So
for other people to play.
Is that freeware or is that shareware?
Yeah, that's freeware.
Okay, now what's freeware? I think I know what that is. What's shareware? What's the difference?
Well, freeware, basically, you're saying, I've created this, take it and have fun. With shareware, you're asking people to register the game, to give you some money, 15, 20 bucks, if you use the game and enjoy it.
Do they often get the money that they ask for?
Unfortunately, no. With a lot of games, not many people register, which is
So
unfortunate.
we got to work on that because it sounds like it's a lot of fun to start. I mean, these people really like what they're
Very
doing.
dense, Pharaoh-esque level density on the goatee there. It's kind of like you could put a fucking pencil or a biro through it and hold it there for the day. It's that tightly packed.
They're doing just making additions. To all these new games.
These people put a lot of effort into these games.
Sounds like it. Now, another one is online gaming, so it's actually interactive gaming with other people, and I have absolutely no idea how one would start doing something like that. I mean, what's the process on getting into some game like that?
Right. Well, over the past year, a couple companies have come along and said, you know, we're going to try to create an environment for online gaming over the internet. One company, 10, which I work for, does this. Basically, we bring together people from all over the continent to play games over the internet.
Okay, so they're playing them simultaneously, is that right?
They're playing together.
Okay, so my impression with that is that, you know, you hear a lot of talk about the net and how slow it is at certain times of the day, and if you're playing an interactive game, with somebody on the other side of the country, and we would assume that it's pretty slow.
Yeah, that's called latency.
Okay.
Basically, that's the time it takes from a signal to go from your computer through the internet and to the other person's computer.
So is it slow with the system, or is there anything you can do to make it
can be
perform better?
Yeah, at 10 what we try to do is we...
Thank you very much, Georgia Jones. Or I said Georgia Rose there, and not Georgia Jones. Thank you very much there for the tip. Very, very kind of you.
Optimize the network. We lay high...
Sang Egg Pudding and Beans recently. Did a cover of it. I think your sound with Casio keyboard. Thank you very much for the tip. Very, very kind of you. Eggs, pudding, and beans. Eggs, pudding, and beans.
Back off.
That's a randomized soundboard from Neil there. It wasn't a statement.
Bandwidth lines from our service to major internet hubs, which creates a quicker pathway for data. So we can get latencies down to a quarter of a second.
So what kind of games would I want to play?
Well, we've got quite a few. We've got fast action games like Duke Nukem and Quake, and these are the games for which latency really matters.
Okay.
Requires instantaneous response time. We've got role-playing games like Dark Sun, where hundreds of people can get together into this fantasy world and muck around.
So we already know the Stu interview wasn't great with the game maker. This Jane interview, she doesn't play games, she said at the beginning.
And we've got strategy games like...
They've been weird enough interviews that haven't really landed.
With Warcraft.
Some of this stuff here looks fantastic. Did he just say that's Warcraft as well? I'm not sure, but look at this. Look at this cunt. These lads here. But they think they have it all fucking solved. Doosh. Doosh. Pumping a cannon full of fucking gun salt, is it?
For a long time.
Pumping a ball into a cannon. And then firing it at cunts from a castle.
Dragons and people kind of play for a long time.
Many lads doing that inside the castle, inside that room. It's mad to think that would have gone on.
And people kind of play for a long time and get right into that.
Yeah, a game like
world.
Dark Sun is what we call a persistent environment. The world never goes away. People just pop into it and pop out. Then
Dark Sun. It's a magical world that never goes away. People just pop in and pop out. And Jane's just like that.
Kind of play for a long time and get right into that.
Yeah, a game like
world.
Dark Sun is what we call a persistent environment. The world never goes away. People just pop into it and pop out. Then there are games like Duke Nukem where it's a session-by-session thing. You know, you hop in, you play for 15 minutes or to a certain number of kills, and then you drop out.
I think I've got to try this. This sounds really actually pretty interesting.
You should.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
No problem.
On tonight's Cyber Blast, we're going to send you 4 great games, a little over 4 megabytes of data during the next 120 seconds.
4 whole megabytes.
What you're seeing over here is the actual computer data in the TV modem, or you can download the files from our website using your regular modem. Download time at 28.8 will be almost 30 minutes. Let me tell you what we're sending you. First of all, a great blackjack game called Casino Verite Blackjack. This game won the Ziff Davis Shareware Award for Best Casino Card Game of the Year. It has actual casino rules from over 500 different gaming places, so you can customize the game to your taste. Next, if you're a Tetris fan, you'll love this game called Diagonal. Multicolored triangles fall down, and you have to rotate.
I don't know if you've noticed, but they've got it wrong on the names underneath. The last one was Diagonal. And how did they not notice that in the edit? I'm not sure. So she's talking about Diagonal here, and it says Diagonal at the bottom.
This game won the Ziff Davis Shareware Award for Best Casino Card Game of
Diagonal. Diagonal.
the year. It has actual casino rules from over 500 different gaming places, so you can customize the game to your taste. Next, if you're a Tetris fan, you'll love this game called Diagonal. Multicolored triangles fall down, and you have to...
Home stretch. She should be saying home stretch, so she's describing a different game. So what did she call... If that wasn't diagonal at the top of the piece, what was the name she called it?
Let me tell you what we're sending you. First of all, a great blackjack game called Casino Verite Blackjack.
Casino Verite Blackjack.
Game called Diagonal. Multicolored triangles fall down, and you have to rotate the triangles and get them to form a pyramid at the bottom of the screen. And in this game, the triangles bounce off the walls.
Sounds like fucking mental Tetris. Doesn't sound like it would be a great experience after having played Tetris. Have a little look at that there and see. Diagonal. Windows game 99 Thalu Diagonal. Yo. All diagonals blocked. All diagonals blocked. Someone wrote shit. You could only write the first three letters as your initials.
Challenge. Also, Home Stretch. This is a thoroughbred horse race simulation game. It includes complete wagering simulations with the ability to bet on win, place, show, exactas, and quinellas. This has been called the most realistic racetrack simulation program. Finally, a great game called Virtual Pool from Interplay. This pool game accurately captures all the geometry and physics of a real billiards game. It uses revolutionary new video acceleration, which gives you a true lifelike gaming experience. If you need information on how to use or find a TV modem so you can do the fast download of these games, just check out the Internet Cafe section of our website at www.pctv.com. You can also find information on how to download the same files through your regular modem from our website.
Jones!
So the download is just about complete. Have fun with your 4 new games. That wraps up this Cyber Blast on the Internet Cafe. I'm Laurie Anderson.
All right, Mike, we're going to talk about...
All right. Thank you very much, Georgia Jones, again there. Diagonal, more like die-aggle. Thank you very much.
MUDs, which is a sort of special form of gameplay that takes place on the net. And for people who don't know what a MUD is, I mean, what's the history of
What's a MUD? And look at that insane situation between them there. It's a real chunky boy base on it. Probably had a lot of battery. And that display, very robust looking unit.
MUDs? First of all, what's MUD play? All right, Mike, we're going to talk about MUDs, which is a sort of special form of gameplay that takes place on the net. And for people who don't know what a MUD is, I mean, what's the history of MUDs? First of all, what's MUD stand for? It's an acronym.
Okay, yeah, multi-user dimension, originally multi-user dungeon,
yeah.
right? But most people like to say multi-user dimension or domain. It has less of a dungeon ring.
Dungeon, right?
Dungeon, yeah. Right? But most people like to say
But it was Dungeon, and his name is Sellers. Interesting situation.
multi-user dimension or domain. It has less of a dungeon ring. They started back in the early
A dungeon ring.
80s, after games like Adventure and Colossal Cave and things like that, which are all single-player games, but they're all fantasy role-playing games based on the old Dungeons and Dragons tradition. So back in the mid-80s or so, people started putting together games. You could have multiple people online at the same time on the then new internet,
right?
All in text,
right?
All running around at the same time on the
right?
Then new internet,
right?
All in text, all running around the same world together. So you'd see a text description of a room that says you're in a dark cave.
There's a load of cybersmiths running around in the background. I'm not used to seeing this many what are they called? They're not called cybersmiths. We said it in the fucking beginning. It was written on the back of the shirt. Cyber guides. There's a load of them. There's must be 10 of them around there. But maybe because this is the first series, Cybersmith really wanted to make their presence felt, make the cyber guides prominent. So there's loads of them in the background running around, fucking guiding people around this new cyber world they've created. A real 90s world, if ever there was one. Coffee shop, PC, games, internet, cafe.
People online at the same time on the then new internet,
right?
All in text, all running around the same world together. So you'd see a text description of a room that
One there,
says
one
you're
there.
in a dark cave, and,
right.
And then
else is
it's a
standing
customer.
there.
No, it's the manager because she's got a tag on. That's one of the cyber wranglers in the background there. You can see the tag there on the top. And she had multiple cyber guides leaving her orbit in the space of 15-second shot there. So I reckon she could be a cyber manager or cyber supervisor. A cybervisor. That's another cybersmith or a cyber guide right there. I think they should have just called them cybersmiths that are going around cybersmith. Just my opinion now. I know that they had to go into liquidation, I think, or they stopped. They don't do cybersmith anymore. I wonder how that would work today. Probably not. Probably that's why they had to close their shops, because it's just nobody does it anymore. Nobody wants a cybersmith now. We all understand how to use the phone.
Same world together. So you'd see a text description of a room that says you're in a dark cave, and
right.
and somebody else is
standing
there, and then you could talk to them or fight them or do things like that. But again, it was all text. So these have been going on now since then, and in fact, I started playing MUDs 2, 3, 4 years ago now. I don't know, a long time ago now.
But you Mudder guys, I mean, are serious, right? I mean, these guys are up all night taking this like this is a life.
People play this around the world. In fact, some of the best MUDs are based in Sweden. Some of them based in Berkeley.
Tiamat chuckles at Starbuck. Euphrates jostles his toga around him, trying to cool off from his... Can't read it. A servant approaches Euphrates, offering a selection of chilled beverages. Starbuck says, very shortly, anyone wishing to participate in the Euphrates sails broadly at the servant. Oh dear, you are most kind. Gallon looks over at Starbuck. That's it? Belisarius moves to the bar and pours himself a chalice of aged absinthe. Starbuck says, our wonderful public servant, the counselor of this Oh, cat. Don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, people
That's
take
about.
this very
If
seriously.
that's a fucking game, like that's having to read all that would be too much.
All right, now the problem with MUDs online is they were text-driven because that's about all you can do.
Right.
And to
That's
some degree,
just text driven. That's all you can do. Stu couldn't have said it better myself. It's just text. That's all you can do. People had to use a lot more imagination back then.
a little bit boring. I mean, unless you really got into the story stuff.
It'd be a bit weird. It just feels a bit too much.
And your idea was, why not turn these into graphical things?
Exactly right.
But how do you squeeze all that stuff down the internet?
Well, you can't. At least not with today's bandwidth and computers, you just can't do it. So the idea we had, which now seems blindingly obvious, is to put them on a CD-ROM and to have, the only thing that comes across the internet is the instructions of how to put a scene together. Put a
Guile.
ROM and to have, the only thing that comes across the internet
Beyond Borg. Guile.
they're assemble a person out of parts and put them on there, and then that becomes what people see. So we actually provide a first-person 3D view of.
You heard the music. Lovely MIDI music, and he went for the guile.
And then that becomes what people see. So we actually provide a first-person 3D view of this world that we've created.
Okay, so let's go say we now is Meridian 59.
Put them on there, and then that becomes what people see. So we actually provide a first-person 3D view of this world that we've created.
Okay, so let's go say we now is Meridian 59,
Right.
which is really this mud you've created.
Right.
And in this one, all the action is taking place online, but all the graphics, so it's really cool and visual, is taking place off a CD-ROM.
Exactly right. So we have several hundred people at any given time who are in this world together. They can talk just like we're talking now, but it's all across the internet. So you could be talking to someone from Idaho and someone else from, Ireland.
Okay, but what's the game? I mean, what's going on
Okay,
in
well,
there?
it's a fantasy role-playing world, but it's not a plot-driven game where you have to accomplish something and then the game ends. The game never ends. It's a persistent world. It's going
a
on.
life.
It's going on as we speak. Right. So it's going on all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I wonder if people still play this. It must have been successful. It looks, even though, I'm laughing, it still looks like it was developed enough to have gained a cult-like following 30 years later and people still play it. But what I want to know is, can you watch people playing it live? That would be even funnier.
Log on right now, and I'm in the Meridian
In the world, exactly.
with thousands of other people.
Hundreds of other people at a
Okay,
time,
but
right.
what are we trying to accomplish?
Well, everyone's trying to do what they want to do with their character. You can become the best fighter or the best magic user or just even know the most about the world or about the political situation that's going on in the world. There's all different kinds of things people can do. We've tried to provide a real breadth of activity, and then for all the different kinds of things you can do, more and more complexity of activity to keep people coming back for more.
Right, now, I mean, you really have addicts in a way who do
Yes.
this, right? Who play for hours
Right.
and hours. Now, you told me there was one guy played how long?
We've had people who've played over 28 hours at a stretch.
Non-stop?
Non-stop. And we have many people who play more than 40 hours a week. Many people who play more than 40 hours a week.
Now, what's really interesting on these MUDs, and yours in particular, is we tend to think these people, they don't have a life, right? So they just live in the mud. And to some degree, literally, I mean, you told me there are people who really don't have a life, and this is their social
Exactly.
existence.
At one end of the spectrum, we have people who, like you and me, they go to work every day, they come home,
Yeah.
they play a couple hours, that's what they do. We have other people that are very far in the spectrum who are terminally ill. There's a few people we know of who are terminally ill and they have no way to get out and actually have a social
They really
life.
cannot physically get out
Right,
and do
so
anything.
they are no longer shut-ins because they now have really true deep friendships with people online. There's real emotional interaction and content there. We also have a lot of people, like we have a number of women in their early 40s who are lawyers or other professionals who lead a very button.
And that's a real interesting hold on that one. I wouldn't call it an orb. It's a pressure movement. I wonder, does you feel the pressure here?
Like we have a number of women in their early 40s who are lawyers or other professionals who lead a very buttoned-down existence during the day, don't want to go out
Get
to a
wild.
bar or something like that. So they come online and they have
Get wild.
lead a very buttoned-down existence during the day, don't want to go out
Get
to a
wild.
bar or something like that. So they come online and they have a good time.
Does he say get wild there?
have a number of women in their early 40s who are lawyers or other professionals who lead a very buttoned-down existence during the day, don't want to go out to a bar or something like that. So they come online and they have a good time. And again, they meet people, they get married to people, they have vendettas.
Really? Not just in the game, or?
Well, we've had a couple marriages, and we've got one impending one, but and then but also marriages
So it's
in the game.
weird.
Couple of marriages, one impending.
Weird combination of like chat room, but there's a whole world really going on around it.
It's not just a chat room. There is a whole world going on. There are things to do. There's monsters to kill, and there's
impending marriage.
Not just in the game, or?
Well, we've had a couple marriages, and we've got one impending one, but and then but also marriages
So
in
it's
the
this
game as
weird
well.
combination of like chat room, but there's a whole world really going on around it.
It's not just a chat room. There is a whole world going.
Maybe it's because like there's kind of orcs and hobbits in the game. Maybe there's like an imp. You can get an imp ending in the game, and like people who are getting married, they have like an imp ending at their weddings who are into the game. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand what he meant by that.
Well, we've had a couple marriages.
Because wouldn't it be just pending? Is impending always like there's something shit coming at the end of it?
Meet people, they get married to people, they have
I mean,
vendettas.
really? Not just in the game, or?
Well, we've had a couple marriages, and we've got one
Sense of impending groom.
impending one, but and then but also marriages
So
in
it's
the
this
game as
weird
well.
combination of like chat room, but there's
Maybe he just said pending. We won't quibble about it.
a whole world really going on around it.
It's not just a chat room. There is a whole world going on. There are things to do. There's monsters to kill, and there's a princess and a duke, and you decide do you want to serve one or the other. There's guilds that you can align yourself with and become a member of. There's all different kinds of things to do in the world. By making the world a little bit dangerous and a lot more deeply textured, we find that we get a lot more social interaction
All right,
out
well,
of
I
it.
got it up here, so I'm going to start
Okay.
trying to log on to this thing right now here, Mike.
Lovely. That's nice.
Hey, Andrew. Now, for those of us like myself who don't spend a lot of time playing games,
Very quiet. This is everyone's gone home from Cybersmith. Finally, a breath of fresh air, a link, a section segment without the fucking chatter and noise in the background. And it makes a real big difference. Change of show.
Okay, Andrew. Now, for those of us like myself who don't spend a lot of time playing games, and like other people like yourself who do,
like games.
well, what we can do is maybe go to Yahoo and show folks how we can try to find more information about computer games.
Okay.
So here we are. Why don't we
I'm gonna-
type in?
I'm gonna type in computer games and
Okay.
see what comes up.
Computer games.
Is this a bad thing for kids to be playing this, or is there a good side to it?
That was fast. Let's have a look down here.
There's a lot.
How many do we have?
Looks like about 524 matches. Here,
Okay.
go check out-
Recreation?
Yeah, recreation computer games. There's a whole listing here of all different kinds of information. You've got a section on cheats and hints, which is something that if you want sort of the latest how-to on certain types of games, you can just go click
I, the Lord of cheats and hints.
on that
Somebody
site.
click?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. And
3D
you've got
game.
things like 3D game cheats and WADs. And here's a guy who's written all kinds of files about Doom 1 and 2 and Heretic and Duke Nukem. And you can know all the latest tricks. So that's kind of what a
So there's all these cheat pages, how to get
Exactly.
around it. Boy,
Yeah.
people must spend a lot of time doing this kind
cheating.
of stuff.
Why don't you go back to that
Cheating.
main page there?
Okay. What else do we have?
One of the other nice things is we talked today with the guy from the game.com. And he does all kinds of reviews, and there's a whole section of reviews. There's 364 different pages listed here of reviews of some of the really most kind of popular games here. Why
So
don't
before
go
you
to-
buy it, you can get all the information that you
Yeah,
need.
here we're going to the Bat House reviews. And
It's real filler. This was the season 1. I don't think I can see why they stopped doing this. Just the air, the energy is gone out of it. Like, I think they were relying on the background chatter to fill up the little moments in between, and I think it worked actually. As annoying as it was seeing a really nice, well sound recorded scene.
And you can even choose here between action or adventure games. Actually, what's the difference, action or adventure?
They're all kind of the same, aren't they?
Yeah. So here, let's go to action and see what we've got there. And you see you've got reviews
Doom,
of Doom, Duke Nukem,
Heroes,
Hexen. Heroes. And this is nice because, these games are expensive. I mean, some of them cost up to $50.
Yeah, so you really do want to check it out before you buy
Right,
it.
exactly.
So let's see, what else do we have?
So you can see there's really a lot that...
Now multiplayer. Let's have a look at that, because that's the thing that kind of interests me.
Fucking hell.
Avatar, you name it, GameNet, Gamers Page, it's all there. Boy, we could pretty much do it all.
You're right.
We could spend hours just on Yahoo getting information about games.
Definitely.
Was this an advert for Yahoo?
There's a lot, so it's a good.
Do you reckon Yahoo paid for that? I reckon Stu's a fucking smart man. He would have said, well, how about a section where we get two of our presenters just to be having fun on the web, on the net, looking at your site. All right. $500 minimum.
Good, especially for people who maybe don't know a lot.
Mario. Producer recommendation, Nintendo 64. Mario. And the producer is Stu. The producer. And kind of nice and modest of Stu. Not to say it's Stu's recommendation or Stuart Chaffee's pick of the week. He's just gone with nameless, but just as produced. But we all know it's Stu.
Andrew.
And that's a funny little way
Is
of it.
this Jane, the one who said she didn't like playing computer games?
Jane.
Ah, brilliant.
I'm back.
Jane, come on.
Wow, this is brilliant.
Well, hi.
All right, you don't like computer games?
They're okay.
Oh, wow, this is brilliant. It needs a laugh track as well. Because they're acting it out like it's a sitcom.
Andrew, is this Jane, the one who said she didn't like playing computer games?
Jane, come back.
Jane.
Oh, it needs one when we first see her, because it's like, bow, down, down, bow. And it cuts in, those little guitar bits. It'd be great to get some interstitial bits of like Cybersmith Cafe and just put that to the little guitar lick, and then it can cut into these bits, which I'm sure if we were to look through the rest of season 1, the opening season of Netcafe, we're probably likely to find the format will have been similar for all the other episodes. There'll be a few more of these scripted, sitcom-esque banter bits, I reckon. So that's a bit of research to be done. Another reason to just keep fucking watching them, I suppose. It's getting late now, though. I mean, I'll leave it at this, but you need the laughter just as you see Jane. Pity she's not full screen as soon as we see her, though.
Andrew, is this Jane, the one who said she didn't like playing computer games?
Jane, come back.
Jane, come on.
Well, hi.
All right, you don't like computer games?
They're okay.
Come on. How is that?
It's kind of fun.
Come on. How is it?
It's really good. This thing is really
What do you do?
cool.
Tell us what you were doing.
Well, this is virtual reality, and basically I had this little puppy on my head, and I'm looking through and I'm walking through different corridors and stuff, and I've got all these aliens coming at me, and so I'm moving forward and I'm getting them and going down sewers and up ceiling
And you
tracks.
navigate by just using your body,
and I move
not
my
a
body
joystick.
around, exactly. So as I move, I redirect my angle. It's pretty
So
cool.
you may not like computer games or online games, but you like VR games, huh?
Well, my heart's pumping. It's not the caffeine.
All right, Andrew, let's talk about these guys over here. Now, you've played...
A lovely... Look at this. It's like a Renaissance painting, look. It's got everything. What she's on a hold of it. I don't know what this machine is. And then... But that early move into Andrew there was funny.
may not like computer games.
Like, the energy of the banter was... It hadn't yet reached Andrew. I don't think Stu had said Andrew, so...
Games or online games, but you like VR games, huh?
Well, my heart's pumping, and it's not the caffeine.
All right.
So we've moved all the way in there. There's a bit of a hanging Chad. The cameraman went too early.
All right, Andrew, let's talk about these guys over here. Now, you've played...
But if you want, it's grand because, you know, as soon as it hits Andrew on the end of the zoom, Chaffee is there, ready to come right in. I'd say Chaffee's always got one eye on stage monitor as well, you know. Or he's going through the motions. He knows exactly what to do from the Chronicles. He's probably doing the Chronicles during the week, and then this is his downtime, sort of fucking playtime. Playtime Stu. Georgia Jones. Thank you very much there.
All right, Andrew, let's talk about these guys over here. Now, you've played some of those games.
Right.
What are they?
Well, speaking about getting your heart pumping, you get to go skiing and you get to go snowboarding, and it's about as real as you can get without actually going onto the slopes. I heard you actually had a little experience with snowboarding.
A real snowboarding broke my leg, so I'm going to stick to those things.
Great.
All right, so they're all...
When I was snowboarding, I broke my leg, or a real snowboarding broke my leg, was it? Fucking hell.
Let's talk about these guys over here. Now, you've played some of those games.
Right.
What are they?
Well, speaking about as real experience with snowboarding.
A real snowboarding broke my leg, so I'm going to stick to those things.
Great.
All right, so there are all kinds of computer games to play, not just the stuff we were looking at
As in stew on the old fucking half pipe.
there. So you can go back in your helmet, go back into your virtual world. Andrew, let's go skiing.
All right.
All right? We'll see you next week at the Internet Cafe.
Stu's gonna get on some fucking skis. Virtual skis. Thank you very much there. SLID 535CF08B.
The Internet Cafe is made possible in part by Intel. One innovative idea always
Hot
leads
rod.
to another. Now there are connected CD-ROMs that link rich multimedia with related information on the Internet. The connected
What
CD-ROM...
was that one? That was none other than Games on the Net. And that's watched. And that's done. Thank you very much for tuning in to Stuart Chaffee's Netcafe Viper Chronicles again, or Netcafe Computer Chronicles Viper website by Dara Dermody, I beg your pardon, and Chrons Tracker 2000 in association, or 5000 in association with Stu.
I'm Stuart Chaffee.
And Jane.
Twisted.
And Sam Lee. And thank you very much for that, lads. And yeah, we'll talk to you later on.
It's the Intel Pentium processor.
We got that outro. You want to have that outro on such a great encoded episode. It's just no music, unfortunately. They didn't have the balls to go with the music for the end. They went with the fucking, what was this called? Hunters or Hungry Lads or something. The Bike Men. Full throttle. Full throttle. I don't know where I got Hungry Lads. Hungry Lad! Good.
Today, the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League present an American holiday tradition with a halftime celebration to kick off the Salvation Army's Kettle Campaign. Joining Gene...
Let's make our escape. Let's make our escape. I'm moving. Jeff Bezos, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Bezos. A piece of meat. Thank you very much, Georgia Jones. My pizza slice.
Twisted.
Thank you very much, Georgia Jones there. Crazy times. Lads. back there.
It's been a while, where should we?
Whoa! My sacrifice, it'll mean oh man, but about to hear me, well, my sacrifice. Boom, 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 bottom, boom, bottom, boom, bottom. Whoa.
We also know there are
Known unknowns. That is to say, there are things we know we do not know. Georgia Jones! Can you take me higher? My pizza slice! Boom, wow, wow, wow. How's that even possible? You know, you have to really get into a variety of different positions. It's hard to track. I suppose you could just move the head around with the on the computer there, so you could just keep it going around. But even an owl wouldn't be able to turn his head around that much. Can you keep me quiet while I turn my head around? Bumbling, mongo, and someone I'm new. Oh, wow, my sacrifice.
Feels like forever within my heart.
A piece of meat. Georgia Jones. Thank you very much, Georgia Jones. Very kind. Too kind.
That you gave to me.
Right on the river.
That you gave to me. Oh, I remember when you are with me.
Uptown, I feel safety. And not down.
I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others.
The facial expressions of the women is completely out of sync. The dancers there. Look at how happy they are. They probably come from cheerleading because it's football or something. So they're geared and primed to have real smiley faces. But it's unless that was a directorial style decision made by the band to kind of have the juxtaposition of unbridled optimism and happiness with the cheerleaders' smiles, and then this heavy, thank you very much, Georgia Jones, heavy kind of melancholic guitar fluff.
Yes, I believe. Above all the others will fly.
Smiling ironically to Creed, maybe.
This brings tears.
Double Bezos. Oh, two lads swinging around a stadium on sheets with no tops on, is it?
To my eyes, my
Two Bezos boys.
sacrifice.
Nice sound on that guitar there. I think
My
it's a
sacrifice.
very
I just want to say.
Oh, I forgot it had 9/11 stuff in it. We just go by the 9/11 stuff there. Oh, there's a lot of it. Sorry.
Above all the others will fly. This brings tears to
Good
my eyes.
night. Good night. My sacrifice.
When you are with me, I believe.
And that's a Christ-like scenario there as well. It's just a bit much. Right, good night, and see you later. And thank you very much. And good night. And see you later. And thank you very much. And good night.